John, welcome back to Blue Sox Stadium. We've had a little bit of a break in between games to recover from that. What was initially a very fast-moving game, not a lot of runs on the board, and the Sox broke out for 2, and the Aces responded with 3, and that was all she wrote. I'm Luke Eisenhower, and I'm joined by Josh Spurby from the Melbourne Aces. Josh, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks for having me.
Quite the exciting game. We had donuts up the board for the first 5 innings, and then the Sox scored in the bottom of the 6th, and then your boys responded in a big way, a couple of big bombs.
Yeah, really good display of power from the Aces late, and it's something that we have not seen as much from Melbourne this year, playing from behind and then just clawing back into the lead. These are the kind of things you need to see as this Aces team still fights for that last spot in the playoffs.
Brian Flynn was phenomenal again. He actually picked up his first win of the season, so Flynn got the win, and he struck out 9 to pull within 2 of Gunnar Kimes on the top of that strikeout leaderboard.
Well, we might have seen Flynn get his first win, but it was not the first time he struck out this many batters, tying his season high with 9. He's a guy who's been on or near the top of the K leaderboard for the entire season. That's just what he does. He gets batters out, and this was one of his best games doing so. Just that fastball, that slider was working, going either way on lefties, going in on righties. He just dominated. And
I guess you can say hindsight's a wonderful thing, but maybe the Sox could have had a close already, in that 7th inning in case Cohen Wynn, did run into trouble, in which he did. He certainly earned the right to come out in the 7th, but maybe should have gone to a fresh arm to get the last 3 out to the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a sticky situation, particularly in these doubleheaders, because in a 7-inning doubleheader, most managers want to just have their starters go the full 7 innings. And that is clearly something that Cohen Wynn is able to do. Just he hit a really fat part of the Aces lineup, and they delivered. I don't think it was a bad decision necessarily, but as you said, I mean, hindsight can change anything. 2, 3, 4 hitters of the lineup certainly earned their money, and then finished off nicely by your designated hitter there, Chris Burke, driving in the winning run. Yeah, Burke getting his first homer of the season for the Aces, a guy who has a good bit of power, but it's just not the kind of consistent power you'd hope for. But he's a young guy, just 23, and the power's going to just keep on coming. You'll like to see it happen this late of the season and at this big of a moment.
Well, Josh, bring us the starting lineup for the Aces in the nightcap tonight.
For the Aces, a almost identical first 9 to the early game. You have Jacob Robson in left batting first, Robbie Glendinning at short batting second, Jake Skoll in the 3 spot out in right field, Darryl George doing the cleanup work at third, Ryan Lavarnway catching and batting 5th, Chris Burke in the 6th spot, Aaron Whitefield in center, Jared Dale at second, and Matt O'Neill is the only new addition he'll be catching.
Pause the national anthem, and then we'll return with the Sox lineup. And for the Blue Sox, it'll be Solomon Maguire in left field, Sammy Siani back in centre field, David Candelas in right field after Candelas was the designated hitter in the first game. And then the infield from left to right, Ernie Ordonez at third base, Jesus Castillo at short, and then at second base, Jace Bowen, Zach Shepard at first. Behind the plate will be the catcher, Dylan Shockley. Trent D'Antonio is the designated hitter. And on the mound is the crafty lefty, Matt Ray, who has a 4-2 record on the season. 7 appearances, all of them start, so just a 1-no decision. He's pitched 39 and a third innings, 23 of his 24 runs earned on 42 hits, 7 home runs, 1 walks, 33 Ks. So he's not too far down that strikeout leaderboard. He's tasked with getting the Blue Sox their first win of this series. He would have started last night's game, but that game was postponed to tomorrow morning. It'll be a nice, bright, early start out here at Blue Sox Stadium tomorrow morning, Josh.
Really the ultimate show and go, but Matthew Ray is certainly a guy who can show his stuff day in, day out. He's been doing it here in Sydney for so many years. Only recently has he transitioned to being a full-time starter, though, and it's shown to work well. He's just got that big game stuff that can make the switch from reliever, long reliever, really anywhere you put him on the mound, he's going to pitch well. So the Aces have struggled a little bit against lefties this season, seen mostly right-handers. They're going to have to adjust to the stuff that Matthew Ray offers.
So we'll have the leadoff man in Jacob Robson, the one-time Blue Sox back in the COVID-affected 2020 season, followed by Robbie Glendenning and Jacob Skoll. And Glendenning and Skoll who did the heavy lifting for the Aces in that top of the 7th to give the visitors the first win of this round 8 series. And Matt Ray gets it started with a strike on the inside corner. Place he likes to live as a lefty matchup to get it started.
Outside.
Just missing outside. So just the one change in the lineup for the Aces, with Matt O'Neill coming into the lineup in place of JD Osborne. Darryl George moves from first to third. Levan Way takes over at first base, and O'Neill behind the plate. And Jacob Udis in the lineup for the night game. He's off to a wedding. As that's a strikeout by Matt Ray to get things started. He's only 17 strikeouts away from the lead on the ABL strikeout leaderboard.
We need some Kerry Wood kind of stuff for him to hit that mark today, but a certainly good start against the lefty Robson, and that's a matchup that you want your left-handed pitchers to win. A hard-hitting lefty like Robson going up against a guy like Ray. Ray just attacked him, and he won the battle.
And Robbie Glendenning, who scored the first run for the Aces in the 7th inning. And a big comeback win.
And he's really been the rally starter for Melbourne. He's a guy who's hit over 300 at just about every level. And this season he has been the best hitter on the Aces team. Just so consistent, providing the power. He leads the team in home runs, and he just gets hits when the team needs it.
In 317 on the season with 6 home runs, 26 hits, 3 of them doubles, and 6 of them leaving the yard. Off the end of the bat and into the screen. 23 strikeouts and 7 walks, so strikes out a lot more than he walks, but also gets on base at a 370 clip, giving him a pretty good looking 943 OPS.
And it's hard to name a batting category on the Aces where he doesn't lead. Leading hitter in average, most home runs, up there in RBIs as well. I mean, he has just been so huge, such a big acquisition for the Aces in the offseason.
Swings and misses at that 3-1. 3-2 in fact. On the film format at 3-2, so 2 quick hits for Ray here in the first.
And I like Dylan's decision to score one spot in the order. Clearly paid off in that last game with the triple in the 7th inning, but he's a guy who's really been hitting cleanup quite a lot. I know that's a place Darryl George likes to hit out of. Skoll, a guy who can produce from anywhere on the lineup card.
Takes the first pitch from Matt Ray. Strike number 1. Thought it was 2-0 straight away when Skull scolded that ball into right field, but just dying as a lot of balls that are hit into the air here at Blue Sox Stadium do, and it bounced off the top of the fence. Ended up getting away from Sammy Siani out there in right field. And Matt Ray gets his second strikeout of the inning, so it's a clean 1-2-3 for the Sox. And we'll have the Sox lead-off man in Sammy Siani, followed by Zach Shepard and Jace Bowen come up in the bottom of the first.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
So back here with the bottom of the first, and on the mound, give us your defensive lineup for the Aces.
Well, for the Aces, outfield stays the same. Robson in left, Whitefield in center, Skoll in right field. Darryl George moves from first to third. Ryan LaFarnway is at the first base bag. Jared Dale at second. Robbie Glendinning at short, same as in game one. And Matt O'Neill, the battery mate for Steve Kent, who makes his second consecutive start for the Melbourne Aces after joining the rotation last week against his former team in Canberra.
For the Sox, it will be Sammy Siani to lead things off, moving up the lineup with the absence of Jacob Eunice tonight. Zach Shepard will hit second, Jace Bowen in the 3-hole, Candless hitting cleanup, Manuel Donez will bat fifth, Catch Dylan Shockley bat sixth, bottom three all left-handed hitters, Trent Antonio, Solomon Maguire. Of course, it is the switch hitting Jesus Castillo batting down in the 9-hole. Tony Harris going with the two lefties in the 7 and 8 spots. And the lefty at the top of the lineup, Sammy Siani, to get things started here. Sox looking to strike first and strike early, not leave it to the back end of the game, as we did in the first game this afternoon. Siani fouling off that first pitch over the top of the Aces bullpen in left field. Kent is up a little bit higher for ball two. 6 doubles on the year for Siani, as well as 6 home runs. Leads the Blue Sox with his 12 walks and 21 strikeouts. 296, so not a bad option to have at the top of the lineup to set the table and get an offensive side of the ball underway.
He's got really good speed as well, so if he gets on base, this could be trouble.
He dropped down the bunt to move over Kyle McIntosh Walsh. Both came in to score on the ground ball up the middle of the bat of Dylan Shockley. I called it as Jace Bowen in the broadcast. It was actually Dylan Shockley who had the 2 RBIs to give the Blue Sox the lead. Sammy Siani goes down on strikes. First strikeout victim for Stephen Kent here this afternoon, and brings up Zach Shepard for the Blue Sox. Swings and misses at the high fastball from the lefty Kent for strike one.
Aces thrown out their third lefty of the day, something that they have just a huge advantage for them is the amount of depth that they have with an even amount of right-handed and left-handed arms. You don't see a lot of that. To have a rotation starting at bullpen as even when it comes to the throwing arm as the Aces do.
Yeah, the Sox have just the two lefties, the starter in Matt Ray and then the Taiwanese reliever in Ikai Wang. One and two here to Shepherd. Kent working ahead. And both the first two hitters of the Sox here. Kent a 3.89 lifetime ERA since 2010 in the ABL. His first year with Melbourne. And as you mentioned, Josh, his second start. Used in relief in his other 9 appearances. Just picking up the one save. Misses down and in to fill the count up at 3-2. 10 earned runs on 22 hits. Giving up 3 long balls, 6 walks, striking out 25. Make it 26, 27 now with Siani and Shepherd both going down on strikes to start things here in the bottom of the first.
That's a really good at-bat. Got himself ahead, but Shepherd did well to work it to a full count, and Kent came right back with a fastball on the outside corner to get that strikeout. A big pitch is the first 5 outs of this ball game have all come from strikeouts.
And lots of swing and miss continuing on from the first game. We had 15 strikeout in the first game and another 5 here tonight, so 20 for the day so far.
And it's what you've come to expect from particularly the left-handed Aces starters. 8 strikeouts in that start against Canberra for Steve Kent, and obviously I'm sure we've talked about Brian Flynn plenty.
And Jace Bowen rips it into left field, so just as he did in the first game this afternoon, a 2-out single to start to keep the first inning alive. See if David Canlis keep things going and maybe look at driving in a first inning run here for the Sox.
That's deja vu all over again.
Does that mean we're going to have another 6.5 innings of scoreless baseball?
Well, no, it's going to go to 8 now.
Yeah,
because it's a 9-inning game.
We'll take that. No, we'll have 6 innings scoreless, and then we'll let the floodgates open in 7, 8, and 9.
Game's going to be like 17-15 or something. Some crazy score.
Fans will get their money's worth tonight. So the Aces in 9-inning games when they score first. They're 4 and 6. The Sox are 8 and 3. Whoever scores win. Whoever scores first. Well, man, the Sox will be looking to score first. Sorry, they're 3 and 5 when they score first. It's going to hang up in the air. And that'll be out number 3. And we've broken the streak. And 5 straight outs by way of the strikeout. The 6th out of the game will be the fly ball to Aaron Whitefield. But the Sox get the first hit of the game. We head to the second. Still looking for our first run.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most, to share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale, it's the one for all.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. They have us staying at the Unilodge in Footscray, not too far from the ballpark, via train, and really well located. You have like a 10-15 minute walk to the station that can take you just about anywhere. And being a city guy growing up, it's nice to have that kind of city experience going back again. And Aces obviously would like their record to be a little better at this point, but I've seen a whole lot of great baseball games and really have enjoyed covering this team.
So Darryl George will lead things off. It'll be George, Ryan, Lavanway and Chris Burke to bat here in the second. And yourself, whereabouts did you grow up? When did you get involved with baseball first, and then obviously moving into media and broadcast and those kinds of things?
Well, let's see. First, I've been working at baseball since I was in college. Back in my senior year, 2014 was when I really started getting into sports. Then kind of focused on I do a whole bunch of other sports aside from baseball when I'm back home in the States, but got into minor league baseball with the Brooklyn Cyclones, the now high A affiliate of the New York Mets. Back then it was short season, so we only played from June until September when I was there, and I got into broadcasting about a year later, and since then I've been just kind of bouncing around, going from team to team, school to school, calling baseball and a whole bunch of other sports.
Now George lifts that one in the right field. Bowen and Candless over for it, but it will be the basket catch by David Candless. May have just tailed a little bit at the end of its drop down to earth. And that's a first out here for the Sox.
Yeah, he talked about home runs kind of dying in the outfield here. How about pop flies like that, a routine play, and Candless really didn't do anything wrong there. He took a good route to the ball, made the run, but the ball just kind of plopped down a little bit before he was ready.
It looks like the wind's blowing in from right field. Flag's just flapping around in the breeze, so maybe just holding up and spinning back as Lavanway rips that into left field. Diving effort by Zach Shepherd at third base. Just couldn't quite line himself up with the ball. And Ryan Lavanway has Melbourne's first hit here in the top of the second inning.
Well, the exact mold from the earlier game is broken, but a really nice piece of hitting from Ryan Lavanway, a close call. It looked for a second there like Ordonez was going to snag that, but he was unable to make the play.
So it is Ordonez over there at third. My apologies. Ordonez and Shepherd swapping spots. A nice diving effort by Ordonez, who was in left field in the first game, now back into his regular corner infield position. Finished the game at first base after Dylan Shockley was pinch run for by Solomon Maguire. You can only watch that Robbie Glendenning fly ball sail over the fence in left field to get the Aces on the board.
That was just right on the barrel from Glendenning, and Burke got all the one he hit as well, but that one, I don't want to say it snuck out of there, but just wasn't as obvious of a no-doubt home run.
Glendenning's or Burke's?
Burke's.
I think Burke's was more of a no-doubter than Glendenning's.
The only doubt there was if it was going to tail foul or
correct, and I think everyone wearing blue was hoping it was going foul. Everyone wearing red was wishing for it to stay inside that yellow home run pole. Tough play here for Bowen in the dirt to Castillo. They'll only get the one. They get the lead runner on the fielder's choice. Nicely played by Jace Bowen. Normally in the outfield, finds himself in the infield a couple of times recently. He gets the job there to record out number 2.
And Bowen's been kind of switching from the infield to the outfield for the entirety of his minor league career. He played a lot more in the outfield in Greensboro, but getting some chances at second base here. It's just not an easy play. The ball was almost fieldable by the right fielder, but he had to go deep in the grass, and just kind of I think the ball just slipped out of his hands when he was throwing it back to the shortstop.
So a nicely turned double play by Jacob Eunice, who I would have thought, I think Jared Dale was the runner at the time. He had broken on the pitch, so he had a bit of a head start. And the ball was hit to Eunice's glove side, who had to go down to his knees. He pirouetted, fired it up to Castillo to retire Dale, then fired it back to first base to record the out, finish the inning, or to get the first 2 outs of the inning. That one's going to be lifted into left field and just going foul, landing in the small strip of dirt in between the foul line and the Aces bullpen in left field.
Really well hit foul ball, but Whitefield looked like he was just a little bit too early on that one.
Just a touch early, maybe up the barrel of the bat a little bit as well.
I would have definitely got him to second with his speed, but because that's in left field, though, that would have been a trickier play as quick as Burke is going down the lines.
And a nice pick off there by Matt Ray, and it finishes the inning. So the Sox face the minimum through the first 2. We'll see if they can't get on the board in the bottom of the first. Bottom of the second.
All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Here we are down the first base line at Melbourne Ballpark. You can see lots of people around having a good time. There's all kinds of options. Look at this, people enjoying pizza, looking pretty good. Good pizza, look at that. She doesn't want to be in the shot, that's okay. She's having a great time with her pizza.
You can always watch the game from the All-Star Bar, which is down the first base line. Get a drink, get some food. So there you go, the All-Star Bar, just one of many places you can watch a game here at Melbourne Ballpark.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
So there have been 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up for the Sox in Ordonez, Shockley and D'Antonio. Josh, have you had much chance to do any sightseeing or getting around and seeing Melbourne or any parts of Australia once you've been over here?
Yeah, definitely been just kind of getting around and seeing the beaches, different parts of Melbourne. Got to see the Opera House while I was here in Sydney as well. But you know how it is during the season, not a lot of time for extracurriculars, so I'm definitely planning on doing a whole lot more traveling. But it's great to just go around, get some of the local foods, and see some of the beaches, some museums. Been seeing quite a lot.
You get to do much yesterday on the washout day?
Just swam in the rain, really. But yeah, the first night we were here, we went to go see the Sydney Opera House, Sydney Harbour, when it was a nicer night out, and it was breathtaking, really.
So Kent finds to Ordonez, who, in typical style, has a hack at the first pitch and fouls it off on a Blue Sox Boulevard. Falls behind 0-1. The Sox, when they score first, are 6 and 7. Well, you can make that 6 and 8 now after a loss in the day game. Dale comes in and retires Ordonez at first. The first out here in the bottom of the second. The Aces 5 and 6 when they score first, or 3 and 9. The opposition scores first. The Sox are 2 and 13. And the opposition scores first. So it seems scoring first plays in favour of both of these teams. It's the first run, the all important one.
And that tends to be kind of the MO. You get on the board first, your confidence goes up, and it's just always easier playing with a lead than trying to catch up, with last game being a rare exception.
Dylan Shockley fouling that one off. 0-2. Line fouled off into the protective netting behind the home plate. Just the second win of the year for the Aces when they, it's the first win of the year for the Aces when they've trailed after 6 innings in a 7-inning game. So they've broken that little duck.
Yeah, they had that really tough series against Adelaide for their first road series where a couple of back and forth games, some late comebacks by the Giants, and that led to a series sweep. And since then, they've struggled a lot on the road. But I think that first game, doing something you haven't seen a whole lot of from them, getting that comeback win, could be a big momentum shift, which the Aces need at this point in the season.
And conversely, the Sox, it was their first loss in a 7-inning game, leading after 6. Got a bit of bat shrapnel just floating around home plate there. So it's a good start by the Aces at the start of the year, winning both the first 2 series 3-1. What's kind of happened since then? Obviously, they had the big losing streak, a well-mentioned losing streak, but they haven't quite been able to piece it together since then.
It's just been kind of a matter of consistency. It seems like when the pitching has been on, sometimes the hitting hasn't. When they've hit well, the pitchers have given up some runs. There have been plenty of just complete games, just back to front, but it's just not. It really just hasn't come together yet. There's a lot of talent on this Aces team, but it hasn't turned into wins. I mean, it's honestly kind of hard to explain because you look at this roster, you see the depth there, you see how many guys they have from high levels of the minors, former major leaguers. It blows me away that their record is just 11-17 at this point.
On the ground to Jared Dale, who'll pick it up and feed it over to LeVar Way for the second out. Just a hit apiece so far through the first inning and 2/3. Bring up the left-handed hitter, Trent D'Antonio, who's back in the designated hitter role, was the on-deck batter when Dylan Shockley was picked off to close out the first game this afternoon. D'Antonio's going to swing and miss for strike number 1.
I don't think I've ever seen a game lost on a pickoff before. I really don't.
David Ross in the World Series, Chicago Cubs.
If it was, I don't remember that.
When did the Cubs win it? 2016.
16. That I do remember.
David Ross had the pick off at first base, the back pick rather than the pick off.
Did that end the game?
Pretty sure it ended the game. Yeah, it ended the game. I think he picked off, I want to say Bryce Harper, but I don't think that's right.
Definitely wasn't Harper. Actually, that might have been in earlier in the playoffs then, because I don't think a game in the World Series ended on a pickoff. I just remember Aroldis Chapman going like 4 innings in the final game.
Looks like it was a CS.
Yeah.
But it ended the game.
I guess I wasn't watching that game then.
It was Robinson the runner. I believe he might have been the pinch runner.
Had to have been. And did game 3 of the NLCS.
So it has been done before. Maybe not so in the ABL, but definitely in the professional world of baseball. As Trent D'Antonio works the 2-out walk here in the bottom of the second.
I think other than that, I've seen a wild pitch. In terms of games I've covered, I've seen a wild pitch to end a couple of games.
Oh, yeah, you see them regularly.
A walk-off walk, the literal walk-off. I just like that for the pun, though.
Yep, a walk-off. We had a walk-off bunt error against the Tuatara.
Oh man!
Before Christmas.
I've seen a walk-off error. One of my favorites was during the past minor league season. I think it was the July 4th game. A hard hit grounder just scooted right under the shortstop's glove. Guy ended up scoring from second.
Yeah, they hurt. 2 out. Was it a 2-out ground ball?
Oh, it's 1 or 2 outs. I'd have to dig in my book to find that one.
So 1-1 here to Solomon Maguire, who has certainly exceeded the expectations of manager Tony Harris. Brought him up in conversation this afternoon. Wasn't expecting to see as much time as he has, but he's definitely been impressed by his discipline at the plate and the ability to get bat on ball. And just right on cue, he's able to punch one into left field and extend this second inning as the Sox look to score first. And we did speak about scoring first between these two teams. The team that scores first generally goes on to win. And the Sox will be certainly wanting to keep that streak alive.
And hits like that are how you do it. Found a ball right where he was looking for it. Nice breaking ball up on the outside corner, and he just hit it the other way, got the barrel on it. And a really well hit ball there by Solomon Maguire.
There you go. It was Clint Robinson. It was picked off. I had to search the name. I knew it wasn't a big namer.
It must have been a pinch runner. Late stage in the game like that, there's always a pinch runner on first.
Oh, 1 to Jesus Castillo is fouled off. Antonio is up over near third base. Let's see if Jesus Castillo can keep this inning going for the Sox. Batting down in the 9-hole. Switch hitter, batting right-handed against the lefty Kent. On the ground to Glendenning. He'll take it on one hop and retire Castillo at first. So a couple of base runners for the Sox by the walk and a Solomon Maguire single, but nothing more as we head to the third, still tied at 0.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
This is the Cyclone Tool Shed. There aren't any rakes here, but there's food, there's drink, and There's a great place to watch a game. You got picnic tables. You can see the visiting team and give them a bad time, keeping it clean, of course. But you got bean bags where you can chill out. In fact, those bean bags looking pretty good. I might head down there myself. I think this Cyclone tool shed is going to work out just fine. As you can see, many places to watch a ball game here at Melbourne Ballpark. melbourneaces.com.au. Check it out. See you at the ballpark.
Welcome here into the third inning, where we are once again scoreless between the Aces and the Blue Sox. Josh Sperber, along with Luke Eisenhower here, and 7, 8, and 9 starting up the frame after Whitefield was on base after the pickoff to end the inning. He holds back a bunt, and it's an 0-1 count to Aaron Whitefield.
Just gracefully walks out of the box as he shows and pulls away that bunt.
Pitch was a strike anyway. Rain, his third inning of work. 3 strikeouts in the first are all he has to his name. As Whitefield hits this one into right center field, coming on and letting it drop in front of him is Sammy Ciani. And Whitefield will get on first base for the second straight game. A single for Whitefield in his first at bat. Good start to the third inning for the Aces.
That ball just dying off the end of the bat. Good bit of hitting by Whitefield to start the inning. Took the first pitch for a strike and then just did enough to get that into centre field in front of Ciani, who was bearing down on it, but decided not to lay out for it with the speed of Whitefield. Who knows where he would have ended up if it had got past Ciani. Yeah,
that might have been an inside the Parker, honestly. Whitefield's got that kind of speed and very aggressive on the base pass as well, so we'll keep an eye on him in this Jared Dale at bat, who's up with a 1-0 count now.
We saw Whitefield take 2 bases in the first game. Also moved over to third on a throwing error by Jake Burns. With the lefty on the mound, maybe take a bit more of a cautious approach.
Caution's rarely a thing you see with Aaron Whitefield, though. Aggressive base runner, leads the Aces with 10 swipes this season. He's only been caught once.
We had him 10 for 10 in the last game.
I thought he's been caught. Maybe not. Maybe I just need to start reading the stats. Turned away by Dale, and it's 1-2.
Aussie Mike had him 8 for 8 or 9 for 9 in the previous game.
Yeah, I'm reading the wrong stat line. Apologies, folks. 10 for 10 it is.
That's right.
We'll see if he makes it 11 for 11. And off he goes with a pitch. Misses upstairs. The throw not in time as Whitefield slides underneath the tag. So there's number 11 for Aaron Whitefield, getting to be the first ace in scoring position in Game 2.
And Shockley is normally really good behind the plate and throwing out runners. He's had I think 5 or 6 now on the season. But Whitefield, who runs very well, swipes his third base of the day.
A hard runner to throw out for sure. And now he's in scoring position with a 2-2 count to Dale and nobody out. Ray looks over at Whitefield for a second time and deals. Hit on the ground to third. Whitefield will stay put, and Ordonez will send it across the diamond for out number 1.
Nicely played by Ordonez. That ball just took that little tricky second or third hop, sat back on it, took it on his hip. A couple of checks over at Whitefield at second, did enough to keep him close to the base, and then it made a nice, strong sidearm throw to his other corner man in Zach Shepard over at first to record an important first out and keep Whitefield in second.
And that is the key there, keeping Whitefield, because you know he has that aggression that he might try and take that chance. Ordonez had to make sure he did not.
Would have been very interesting to see a bit more of cat and mouse, see if Whitefield had maybe gone on a jump, maybe kept Ordonez with that ball a little bit longer.
Might see him go here as the first pitch misses outside to Matt O'Neill. You really just never know. We've seen him steal third a couple of times. I believe he has 3 steals of third base on the season.
Well, he went to steal third base in the previous game, but the ball was fouled off.
Certainly would not be out of the question.
By J.D. Osborne. Definitely had third base stolen.
That lead is growing larger and larger for Whitefield, and Matt O'Neill now takes a pitch outside to make it 2-0.
The other thing it does do is it opens up that gap in the right side of the infield with Castillo playing in the hole for the pull. Opens up that right side of the diamond to the left-hand side of Jace Bowen.
Off goes Whitefield as this is popped in the air down the foul side on right field, and that's going to go out of play. Strike one to O'Neill.
Souvenir for the kids over in the Blue Sox garden. Chasing after, there's about 10 or 12 out there, all chasing after one ball. If they're lucky, it might stay in. Otherwise, most of the time, it finds a way to squirt either through or over the fence.
Well, let's hope it stays in.
Let's hope it stays in.
It's not really a baseball game unless you see kids fighting for a foul ball. Respectfully, of course. 2-1 to Whitefield, or to O'Neill. We'll see if Whitefield goes. He stays put. O'Neill swings and misses at a breaking ball to make it 2-2. Nice looking pitch by Matt Ray. Not a guy who's going to blow you away with the speed, but gets the breaking stuff where he wants it. Looks like he is in sync with his catcher in Dylan Shockley.
Control and command, the key to Matt Ray. He's been a reliever throughout the whole of his career. First year as a starter. He's been totally rewarded with a 4-2 win-loss record. A record which I didn't quite realise he had held, but sneaky results there from Matt Ray.
And the payoff to O'Neill. Swing and a miss. There's strike three. O'Neill flips the bat in anger with himself, but there's two gone here in the third to reset the lineup card for Jacob Robson.
22nd strikeout on the year for O'Neill to go with his 11 walks. Started the year off pretty hot, I had seen. 243 with 3 doubles and 2 home runs. Driven in 13. Strikes out here. The second out here in the third.
And O'Neill has had to make way for Lavarnway. He'd been catching 3 out of the 4 games in the Average Aces series, but now Lavarnway, J.D. Osborne each getting some time behind the plate. So O'Neill has limited, usually it's been 2 games per series as a catcher, and he gets an extra day off. 1-0 the count now to Robson, who struck out in the first.
Not the best scenario when you're only playing 4 out of every 7 days. Essentially a 5 days off sometimes.
Yeah, and it's one thing in the minor leagues where it's just all pretty much just go, go, go. You get the Monday off, and that's usually traveling. Whitefield gets back, picked to second base.
Got him.
Throw gets there in time, and he's out of there.
Dylan Shockley, we've been saying it for a while before we went on the road. He's going to get one of these shortly. He got one last week against Geelong Korea, and he gets one here. He gets a speedy Whitefield at second base. Just missed him on the original steal attempt, but he gets him too far, headed up third base, and that's going to end the inning here in the third. In the top of the third, that is. We'll be back with the bottom very shortly.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Not being able to knock him in.
Yeah, it's been tough for both squads. The Aces, even in game 1, 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, but still enough to get the job done in that. This time, just a really strong defensive play by Dylan Shockley. Caught Whitefield tracking too far towards the base.
Yeah, we said, he's got that aggression, and the aggression was probably the one thing that undid him to end the top of the third. We'll see if the Blue Sox can respond with the 2-3-4 hitters coming up.
Well, you got Sammy Ciani leading things off.
Sorry, it's the 1-2-3 hitters with Sammy Ciani at the top of the lineup here tonight.
Yeah, you're used to seeing him just down one
in
more
the
spot.
2-hole.
Where he hit mainly in the minor leagues as well. Hit either in the top 2 or the bottom 2 spots in the order, primarily for the Greensboro Grasshoppers of the South Atlantic League as he swings and misses at strike 1.
He's kind of floated between, early in the season he was in the middle towards the bottom. He's found a home in the top 2-3 spots of the Sydney Blue Sox lineup.
The 0-1 bounces in the opponent's batter's box, and it's 1-1.
Handy left-handed bat to have high in the order.
And a left-handed guy with some power as well.
Yep, 6 home runs, including a couple here.
1-1 misses upstairs, and it's 2-1. And Ciani, part of a baseball family. His brother Michael Ciani, an outfielder for the Reds when in their top 30, hailed as one of the best defensive prospects in Cincinnati's organization, as there's a cut and miss from Sammy to make it 2-2.
Ciani not happy with him there, just kicking the dirt in the batter's box as he walked away just to compose himself and reset himself for this next pitch from Stephen Kent.
2-2 in this lefty battle to lead off the bottom third. Kent deals. Fouled away, and we'll do it again.
Of course, Stephen Kent, part of the Kent and Oxspring Cup that we had here last year. A couple of exhibition games with no ABL season proper. That was with Kent at the Cavalry, but no Kent at the Cavalry this year and no Oxspring here tonight.
The 2-2 is hit high in the air into shallow center field. It's going to drift all the way to short, and an easy play for Robbie Glendinning for out number 1.
Kent and Oxspring, 2 of the stalwarts of the ABL. Oxspring on a family holiday this weekend. Kent now up here, or down in Victoria with the Aces. We might have to have a new trophy for the return bout with the Canberra Cavalry in a fortnight's time. The Cavalry leading the season series 4-0 after the sweep back in week 1.
As Zach Shepard swings and misses at the first pitch, a low diving breaking ball to make it 0-1. And a couple teams I know had similar games. I know there's the Melbourne Challenge back in 2020, or in the last season, the COVID-affected year.
Yeah, a lot of the clubs did the best they could to get some sort of baseball played for their fans. And I'll tell you what, those 2 games were held in Sydney. It was almost a full house here at Blue Sox Stadium.
1-1 is poked into left field. A base hit on the ground from Zach Shepard, just right in between short and third. So a 1-out runner on for the Blue Sox to bring up Jace Bowen.
Yeah, Zach Shepard there just jumping on that 1-1 pitch. Get things started here for the Sox. This is where the Sox need to really start to find some consistency in stringing good, strong at-bats together. We've got the 2-3-4 hitters coming up now. Jace Bowen followed by David Candelas. So what has really evaded the Blue Sox is they get 1 or 2 hits scattered across an inning. They just can't get the 3rd, 4th and 5th hit to maintain the pressure and build momentum in an inning and score multiple runs in an inning. I looked at a stat before that Sox had scored in 1 inning of every game, and that was all they really could manage. Obviously, the outliers there are those big game last week against Geelong Korea where they scored 24 runs. But a lot of the games that the Sox have lost have been close games, and it's been where they've only managed to score runs in 1 inning and they've gone quiet in the rest in the other 6 or 8.
And scoring in bunches was the story of last game as well. 2 runs in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, or 3 in the 7th for the Aces as they took control to win that one. But, I mean, sometimes that's how baseball works. You'll see teams that spread the ball around and can win games. You'll see teams that score in bunches and can win games. But it's always, there's always another thing that you just kind of need to keep track of. That's popped into right field. Dale eases over to it and makes the grab for out number 2.
And if the Sox could just score in one more inning in most of those games, they'll probably find that their record is 20-8 rather than 8-20. They just had a bunch of games where they've only managed to score one in one inning, whether it was 1 or 2 runs. Sometimes it's been enough for them, but if they could have done it again, then things could be a lot different. But again, it also comes down to good pitching on the other side, and you know the Bandits have good pitching, and the Giants had good pitching. I don't think the Sox scored a run against either of the bullpens combined.
Hit on the ground to third. George pumps it and throws it to second base for an easy third out to the third inning. So we're through 3 here in Sydney. Still no score through the first 3 innings. A couple more hits in the last game, but a scoreless tie as we head into the 4th.
At the end of the 3rd. Oh, we've been there for every game of 4 and 25. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be run without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Top of the 4th inning here in Sydney. Scoreless between the Aces and the Blue Sox. Even in 0 runs, even at 2 hits apiece.
Scoreboard has 3 hits to 2, the Sox.
My scorebook's even wrong here too. Jeez. A hit in each inning for Sydney. And the Aces with a hit in each of the last 2. Robson looking to be the 2nd consecutive leadoff man to get on for the Aces. Whitefield, though, was out while he was hitting.
So the DJ's gone a bit overboard.
Good music, but, you know, gotta let him play. Robson had a 1-0 count when Whitefield was thrown out at second base. And now he looks to start off the 4th inning on a good note for the Aces. Lefty Ray misses upstairs with the fastball, and it's 1-0.
So the Bandits clinched top spot in the Northeast Division last night with their win over the Adelaide Giants, 2-0. And the Giants responded this afternoon with a 2-1 victory. And then Perth, I think they just had fun with the home run last night against Geelong Korea. They hit a bunch, defeating Geelong Korea 11-0.
1-1. Robson holds up the swing, and it's inside. 2-1. Appeal made to the third base umpire, and Trent Thomas is in agreement. And the Aces really need a couple more losses from Perth to try and get themselves back in the playoff hunt, but they do play the Heat in the last game of the series. This one's cracked by Robson into right center field. That's going to drop and bounce towards the wall. Robson speeding around second base, and he's heading for third as a throw comes in, and Jacob Robson will stand up with a leadoff triple.
Not a bad way to get an inning started, especially when you aren't looking for that first run of the ball game. Just jumps on that 2-1 pitch from Matty Ray, rips it into the gap, Long run for Sammy Siani out there in centre field. Did his best to get it in quickly. But the speed of Robson was too much. And he finds himself at third base with the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Sorry, where are we? 2, 3, 4 hitters rather. 2 up here for the Aces. It's going to be the home run man from the first game, Robbie Glendenning, to step into the box. And he'll be the first man in charge, driving in that first run in Jacob Robson.
And Robson has gotten better and better since going to the leadoff spot. A suicide squeeze, but that's going to get him out.
Nicely executed defense there by Matt Ray. Got down the mound in a hurry. Barehanded pickup. Flicked it up to his catcher, Dylan Shockley. He was ready for the play. And Robson was dead to rights. Couldn't even try and dance his way around Shockley. And that is how you kill a rally. You just lead yourself off with a triple, get a bunt drop down, try and sneak that first run in. But the defense of the Blue Sox up to task, and it's probably been the shining light in what has been a tough season for the Sydney Siders.
A surprising move to call a bunt for Robbie Glendenning there. But good speed on first now as Skoll sends this one backwards to make it 0-1.
Sometimes when you're hot, you got to stay hot, and just, you got 3 opportunities. The next 3 batters. Glendenning, he gets a ground ball, maybe scores, lifts something into the outfield, it scores the run. Tries the old suicide safety, whichever squeeze you wanted to call it. Didn't pay off. Nice defense by the veteran Matt Ray.
Doing it against the team with the best fielding percentage in the ABL. But now a trio of power coming up for the Aces with Skoll here in an 0-2 count, Darryl George on deck, and Ryan Lavarnway waiting in the wings.
I'll tell you what, a rub salt into the wound right now would be a double play.
And that is a liner into right field. That's going to bounce in front of Candelas for a base hit. And the suicide squeeze really changes the perception on that base hit, because if Robson was still on third, that's a run home for the Aces.
Yeah, well, I was trying to play Nostradamus by calling the double play, but Skulls made me look silly. Rips that line drive into right field. Candelas trying to deke Glendenning a little bit there. The cat and mouse out there, but Glendenning had the read on the ball, saw it was going to fall in front of Candelas, and got himself up to second base. Double play still in order though. We'll see if Matt Ray can't get Darryl George to ground into one here.
So 2 on, 1 out for Darryl George, who had a great start to the season, but hasn't replicated that power. This one grounded to third. Double play attempt around the horn. George is not going to get there in time.
Great play by Jace Bowen. He had to contend with a hard sliding Jacob Skoll there. Even turned around and threw an absolute strike to Zach Shepherd. Darryl George, not the quickest man in this Melbourne Aces lineup, which probably worked to the advantage of Jace Bowen there to turn that double play. And the pitcher's best friend helps Matt Ray get out of the top of the fourth. The suicide squeeze not paying off, and the double play ball to end the inning. And the Sox send this game scoreless into the bottom of the fourth. Tough way to finish that inning, Josh.
Not the best for the Aces, but you always got to love a good defensive play. Double play ends the fourth. We'll be back for the bottom half of the fourth right after this.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Something that you've seen just about all year long, Luke. Just really good defense from the Blue Sox, preventing a run after the Aces let off that inning with a triple.
Well, mate, especially from a guy like Jace Bowen, who predominantly has played the majority of the year in the outfield this year. He's in here playing second base tonight, and he had a hell of a tangle there with Skoll sliding hard to break up the double play. But spun, made a good strong throw over to Zach Shepherd.
First pitch is chopped back to Kent on the mound. He's going to take a couple steps, flip it to LaVarn Way at first for out number one. So Ernie Ordonez goes one pitch and one out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Was that man, Ernie Ordonez, who started that double play. And just as I had ordered the double play to get out of the inning.
I think they heard you.
Yeah.
You didn't get it the first time, so then the next spot they just turned that one for you.
Good bit of hit by Skoll. Made me wait one extra batter. But like I said, it was rubbing salt into the wound. You had the first run of the game at third base, the bump, which wasn't executed the way. Maybe it was just the batter trying to seize an opportunity, not necessarily taking a sign from the bench or the third base coach. Just trying to sneak that run in. As we spoke off there's plenty of other ways that Glenn Denning, who's definitely the best hitter in this Melbourne Aces lineup, could have driven in that first run. Tried to do it the cheap way, didn't get the reward, and then the inning was ended with the double play ball.
Scoreless ball game in the fourth as that's fouled away by Dylan Shockley. 4 hits for the Aces, 3 for the Blue Sox.
Yeah, but it was the Aces who only had, I think, the 3 or 4 hits in the first game to score those 3 runs to win it to the Blue Sox, who mustered 8 hits just for the 2 runs though.
1-2. Weak grounder to third base. O'Neill takes the mask off and throws it to first in time. And we talked about the Blue Sox defense. The defensive catchers for the Aces this season have been just outstanding.
Yeah, got a bit of a room service bounce with that one just kicking off the home plate. Set up nicely for Matt O'Neill, who was out to a quick, fired a strike up to LaVarn Way. A first catcher to get the out on the catcher.
And those little numbers can be tricky. Not easy to field, and you can see a runner sneak by, but again, the catcher's speed proving fatal for the Blue Sox there. So 2 up and 2 gone here in the fourth. The 1-0 count to Trent D'Antonio, who walked in his first time up. Kent pitching from the third base side of the rubber, deals. Hit on the ground to second. Dale charges, gloves, and fires, and that will end the inning. So Kent and the Aces go 1-2-3 on Sydney, and we stay scoreless here at Blacktown International Sports Park. Luke Eisenhower will be on the play-by-play for the next 2 innings when we come back.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Plenty of seating options here in Melbourne Ballpark. I'm in the Grandstand Reserve. Great seat watching the Aces up to bat. If you want to kick it up a notch, over here are the premium outdoor boxes. You got 2 seats side by side. Food and drink delivered to your seat, powered by GetDuck.io. You just hit the QR code. Voila, food and drink delivered to you. Something for everyone. Let's go, Aces.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping.
Eisenhower and Josh Sperber here with you, bringing you Game 2 of Week 8 of the ABL. And after losing last night to the Bandits, the Adelaide Giants got up in the first game of their doubleheader down there in West Beach. Adam McKillican picking up the win. He improves to 4-0 on the year. Cameron Wagner with the loss. Todd Van Stensel with his 5th save of the year. The former Sydney Blue Sox sporting the what you could call shorts version of baseball pants with the socks up over the knees, as you saw it here earlier on in the season. Ryan Lavarnway leads things off for the Aces. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp
one of 3 aces that played on the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp this season. Cody Mincy, who's now coaching first base, expected to start one of the 2 games tomorrow. And J.D. Osborne spent some time in Jacksonville this year. All 3 products of the Miami Marlins system currently.
Lavarnway started with the Tigers before getting traded mid-season. Player that I followed a little bit of during the season, Ryan Lavarnway. Very active on social media. Puts up some very good stuff.
That's something that he kind of started later in his career, guy who's bounced around the majors, and he's recognizable in enough markets to build himself a profile.
That one hit hard on the ground, diving is Ernie Ordonez, but he's not going to have a play on Lavarnway. And it'll be the 4th, 6th hit of the ball game for the Aces. Here at the top of the 5th, as the bullpen starts to stretch, get ready, get into action. Hope they haven't scored that an error. It's hard hit, that's a base hit every day of the week.
Yeah, I think that's a single, but Ordonez may have stopped him from being a double. That one was hit hard right down the left field line. He knocked it down, a really good defensive play to put Lavarnway on first.
Chris Burke lifts that into center field, but I think as far as Sammy Ciani makes the regulation catch. And there you go, the scoreboard operator just beat me to the punch. He got the hit up on the board before I had realised. So it is just the 5 hits for the Aces.
Whitefield coming up. He's a guy that the Aces really want to get going, particularly in this late season. A guy who's really done nothing but win in his now 6 years in the ABL.
And he rips that one into left field in front of Solomon Maguire. Tries the old deep play, but Lavarnway's too smart for that. And he moves up to second base. So a couple of base runners here for Matt Ray to deal with. Starting to get up there a little bit. He's not the most economical. He is 53. It's not too bad. Give him enough credit. 53 pitches through 4 1/3. He's in a bit of a jam here. The Aces with the runner in scoring position.
A lot of guys swinging early in the count. Only 2 counts has gone 2 times or 3 times that the bats against Ray have gone 5 pitches or more.
Outside corner, not located there by Matt Ray. Jared Dale, hitter for the Aces, 0 for 1 so far. Outside corner again. Dale hitting .214 on the season.
His production's picked up in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, he's been hitting pretty much anywhere in the lineup. You'd like to see him more in the leadoff spot, but he's done solidly in that 8-9 role for the Aces of late.
Ground ball Hit to Ordonez. He tags Levan Wade for one. And a strong throw over to first to turn the double play. Ordonez is putting on a clinic in the hot corner. The second double play he's been involved with. Matt Ray rather gets the pitcher's best friend. And the Blue Sox get out of the fifth after running into a little bit of trouble. It'll be the Sox looking to score first when we come back with the bottom of the sixth inning. How many times have I said that today?
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
So bottom of the fifth inning, Blue Sox and Melbourne Aces locked at 0. It went 5 1/3 scoreless earlier today. 4 1/3 scoreless so far here in the nightcap. It's going to be Solomon Maguire. Solomon Maguire has Jesus Castillo. And then Sammy Siani to bat here for the Sox. Looking to strike first. Get that very important first run on the board. It's the Sox bullpen. Still just mingling around. Not too much action up there. So maybe Matt Ray is going to come out for the sixth. It's the sixth inning where he has struggled.
But he's doing well so far. Good start to the game. He's getting helped out by his defense quite a bit, but 4 strikeouts, 6 hits, still hasn't walked a batter. Why not bring him out for an extra inning?
Well, his sixth inning he has an ERA of 32.4.
That's a reason.
And it's the same with, Cohen Wynn. Cohen Wynn's 7th inning. He only been in the 7th inning once and hurt the Sox. So sometimes, just of course, a guy earns the right doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, if the Sox had some run support, then yeah, sure, rolling back out there. When you're in these kind of games, maybe Tony Harris has a little bit more faith in Matty Ray than he does someone coming out of the pen. He hasn't got his number 1 stopper in Chris Oxspring here this weekend. Maybe it's a job for Todd Gratton.
Each pen is clear at this point, though.
Yep.
So there's clearly some faith in these starting pitchers, and as there should be. Kent has been spectacular in now his second start, and Matthew Ray has been one of the best pitchers in the ABL this year.
And Kent just 60 pitches so far, and he gets Solomon Maguire to strike out to start things here in the bottom of the fifth. Kind of been the way that the Blue Sox have operated this year. The starter going 5 and then handing over to the bullpen. Maybe the results out of the bullpen that they've been looking for haven't been what they've looked for. And it's why they've asked their starters to try and sneak out that extra inning. Sammy Siani takes ball 1 inside. Sorry, Jesus Castillo. second base. He's going to go head first and get in time in front of the by Jared Carroll. It'll be a base hit and probably an error chance to Glenn Denning as he kicked the ball all the way over to the foul field. Mark Shipley had the win, ending Speedy Castillo up to second base. And the Blue Sox have a man aboard with one out. Go back to the top of the lineup with Sammy Siani.
That's a hard score. I think the second base, because it's not really like that's an error. That's just a hard ball, took a weird bounce, and it hit Glenn Denning and just kind of ricocheted out into left field. But either way, you got to admire the hustle of Jesus Castillo there, just keeping the wheels turning, heading into second base, just on contact. He wasn't.
I think he was ready to go to first, but I think he would have picked up the signal from his first base coach, Mark Shipley, and flew through gears, got up fourth and fifth very quickly, around first, hustled up to second. It has been scored as a double to Robbie Glendenning. A double to Jesus Castillo off Robbie Glendenning. So, Sox with the runner in scoring position, and Sammy Siani up 2 count against Steve Kerr. Matchup. Siani lifts that one left field, long run for the second field of Whitefield. He's going to get on the bike. A bit of luck by the Blue Sox. Allowing Castillo second base. Then Sammy Siani comes up and does the job to give the Blue Sox a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the fifth.
That's exactly what. Really good piece of hitting by Sammy Siani to drive in the first run.
All season long, they're the kind of balls that have been hit hard and you think it's going to drop into the gap and it just dies in that outfield air and it results in a catch. But the Blue Sox get reward there for effort. Whitefield, even with his speed, couldn't get to it on the full. And Sammy Siani swapped spots with Jesus Castillo. And the Sox are on the board here in the fifth. Zach Shepard now with the job to do to keep the inning going. He's ahead 2-0 against Steve Kent. Pitcher he times. He hasn't been hit up as long as you would have think the Albion was a bit of two-yard utility in his early days as well. So he rips this one in the field. It's going to be backed up for the Sox. Zach Shepard sprints around first, heads up to second, and drives in Sammy Siani, and the two more here in fifth. This is where they need to keep things going. They're good at putting twos up on the board. They need a 3, 4, even a 5 here in the fifth to really put their stamp on this game.
When you talk about scoring in bunches, this is it. 3 doubles start off. 2 of them for doubles in any sense of the word, and now grand line is going to come.
his tail and kick the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a three, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be run without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 20 pie. Oi!
Here. Wind blowing down from left to right after it was blowing in from right field earlier in the evening. Now blowing across the outfield. Chase Bowen just fouls that one off over to Blue Sox Boulevard. It's 2-1 here from Kent. Kent misses down. Gets it to 3-1. David Candless waits on deck. Arguably the Sox best hitter this year. Did miss a couple of series with an injury, but it hasn't slowed him down. Drove in 5 against Korea in the game on Saturday. As that one's fouled up the line and out of play. Candless to be followed by Ernie Ordonez. And 3-2 now here for Jace Bowen.
A big pitch coming for Kent. Aces need this out to stop the bleeding.
Bowen lifts it, but Whitefield tracks it down. Shepherd will have to go back to second. A big out there for the Aces. No movement yet for the Aces, so it'll be Kent face David Candless. They've been teammates for 5 years down in Canberra before the Candyman returned to Sydney. There'll be plenty of scouting on both sides of the ball here. Kent will know Candless' weak spot. Candless will know what pitch he's looking for from his former teammate Kent. Shepherd stands at second. Kent finds the outside corner for strike one.
You got to think if you're Peter Moylan, you want Kent in the game unless something just catastrophic happens. So I'm thinking they're going to have Kent finish out this inning, but after allowing these 2 runs, I'm not sure if he'll be back for the 6th.
Well, now that Matt Ray's got that little bit of run support, it'll hopefully give the Blue Sox a little bit of confidence if they hadn't already, just to leave him out there a little bit longer here in the 6th.
And it's Matt Beattie warming up for the Aces, as that might be Kent's last pitch.
And Lasso pops it up. Dale makes the catch. And the Sox are retired, but we had the action. 3 doubles on the inning lead to 2 runs. And the Sox strike first here in the 5th. They lead 2-0 heading to the 6th.
Oh, we've been there for every game of 4 and 20 pie. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kick the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be run without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 20 pie. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most, to share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Blue Sox giving him some run support. It's the sixth inning though that has troubled Matt Ray. It's 4 or 5 times he's gotten into the sixth. Twice he hasn't been able to get out of it. He's given up 12 runs, all earned on 12 hits. Walking 2, striking out 3. His 5 appearances in a 6th inning so far this season. He starts the catcher in Matt O'Neill with a pair of strikes.
It's a good start. He's not giving O'Neill much to hit, just painting the outside corner with those breakers.
Goes a little bit further away that time, but misses too far out. Matt Ray, 62 pitches now, 40 for strikes. Outside corner, missing again. Evans to count at 2-2. Steve Kent up to 79 pitches through his 5 innings of work, so we think that'll be him done for the evening. Second start didn't go quite as well as his first. That one fouled off the glove of Dylan Shockley. Disappointed he didn't hang on to it. One thing I've noticed today is Dylan Shockley hasn't thrown a lot of balls out of play as Matt Ray doesn't seem to throw too much down in the dirt. It's a running commentary of how often Dylan Shockley would throw a ball out of play after the slightest of scuffs in the dirt. And it gets Matt O'Neill to strike out. Struck him out in both appearances. All-important first out here after scoring runs. They'll want to consolidate that 5th inning with a quick 1-2-3 inning here.
And a good at bat. Staying mostly outside was Ray there. Good approach, getting O'Neill to strike out for the second time.
Got into chase after a couple of called strikes in the outside corner. Went to the breaking pitch, down and away. Got O'Neill to swing and miss. Jacob Robson, who had a triple to lead things off a couple of innings ago, was thrown out at home with Robbie Glendenning trying to squeeze him home for the first run of the game. This one hit a little bit more softly. Shepherd over to it. Matt Ray will win the foot race to first base. Just getting there ahead of the former teammate Robson. Exchange pleasantries as Robson runs back to the dugout. Matt Ray just giving him a bit of a wry smile. He's reminding him he's still got the speed from the mound to cover first base. And he records an even bigger out number 2.
A really close play at the bag. Robson was kind of motivated, wanting to beat his old teammate there. It looked like for a second that he was going to get there, but Matt Ray turning on the Jets and getting a big out.
Just some really good closing speed, you could say, by Matt Ray at the death. I thought for a second Robson had the jump. Ray had 2 things to do there. He had to catch the ball from Shepherd, and then he had to step on the base. And he just got it done in time. Robson had one job, and that was to hustle up the line and touch the bag. Just half a step, probably even an 1/8 of a step even.
If that.
If that. It's a big second out for the Blue Sox here in the 6th.
And you got to give Shepherd credit there for getting the ball to Ray beforehand. So it makes his job a little easier just having to get to the bag already with the ball in his glove.
Certainly makes it easier. You know, it's one of those plays where it's kind of in between the middle of the first baseman and the second baseman, especially when you got a player who hasn't seen a lot of action at second base in Jace Bowen. Zach Shepherd took control, took it upon himself to make sure he got to the ball. Completed the out. 2-1 here to Robbie Glendenning. Sox looking for the 1-2-3 inning. Both teams with 6 hits apiece. And then he's going to punch that out of play. Liam Dawn looks like he might be the man to go next for the Sox. The Tennessee Wesleyan pitcher now with the LA Dodgers minor leagues. Ground ball up the line, but it'll be fouling out of play. And Denning 0 for 2 so far with a strikeout. Of course, the fielder's choice. Matt Ray just checking in with Dylan Shockley for the inning-ending pitch. And he does get it. Outside corner, Glendenning barks at Ben Nash, not happy with the call. But the Sox get the 1-2-3 consolidation inning. And they have the 2-0 lead heading to the bottom of the 6th.
All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Here we are down the first base line at Melbourne Ballpark. You can see lots of people around having a good time. There's all kinds of options. Look at this, people enjoying pizza, looking pretty good. Good pizza, look at that. She doesn't want to be in the shot, that's okay. She's having a great time with her pizza.
You can always watch the game from the All-Star Bar, which is down the first base line. Get a drink, get some food. So there you go, the All-Star Bar, just one of many places you can watch a game here at Melbourne Ballpark.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
So new pitcher for the Aces, and their string of lefties is over. They're going to the righty in Matt Beattie. Josh, what can you tell us about Matt Beattie?
Well, Beattie's coming off of one of the best relief appearances that I've seen by an Aces pitcher. Allowed 1 home run in an inning on the Friday of the Canberra series, but on Sunday, 3 shutout innings. 3 up, 3 down in each frame.
It's some pretty good weaponry out of the pen as he finds in strike 1 to the leadoff man Ernie Ordonez for the Sox. Busy night for him in the hot corner. He's been first. He's been the starter of a pair of double plays. As that one rebounds off the front of the roof of the grandstand, off the speaker in fact.
Rolled back into fair territory.
Comes back into play. Thankfully, it didn't sneak through the little gap in the netting that's up there that might need to be attended to.
Can we call that a ground rule single?
Yeah, we'll take a ground rule single. But had it gone fair, maybe. Straight back up the middle. Nice backhanded pick by Jared Dale. And he'll flip it over to Ryan Lavarnway for out number 1. Just saying he's got quite the electric stuff coming out of that arm.
And 97 miles an hour is his height on his fastball. A slider and a changeup as his 2 complementary pitches. But look for Beattie to lead out with that hard fastball to try and get some punch outs. Dylan
Shockley with one out for the Sox. Gave the Sox to the lead in the game earlier today. Lead that Melbourne would steal from the Sox with a pair of long bombs. And another one which was almost out of the stadium. Caught the top of the wall. Sox came out swinging in that 7th inning. Stole victory from the jaws of defeat, you could say.
I don't think there is a better way to say it. I mean, the bats came out just firing. Is the only time I think I've seen that was that Brisbane game where the Aces gave up a home run to give Brisbane a lead in the 9th, and then came back, scored 2 of their own, got a walk-off win thanks to Robbie Glendinning, and Glendinning started the party in that 7th inning.
I don't think any side really deserved to lose that game. It was very well pitched on both sides of the ball. The Sox thought they had it, and just when you think you've got the chocolates, you have them stolen out from underneath you. 2-0. Yeah, Dylan Shockley, outside corner. 2-1 rather the count. Of course, the foul ball started the out bat, and then a couple of balls to get the count to 2-1. 3-1 to Dylan Shockley. He's struggling to find his zone a little bit here in this at bat to Shockley.
And Beatty's still kind of getting his sea legs under him. He missed most of the season due to injury thus far, but he's back and really pitched well against Canberra. Just the one home run by Cole Roederer back in the 7th of that game is really the only blemish on his second series.
Shockley tried to make it a 3-0 ball game with that big swing, but it's beaten by pure velocity from Beatty there. Counts at 3-2. And he gets Shockley to strike out. Second out of the inning.
Beatty there doing what he does best. Gets behind in the count, and he comes back with 2 missiles, just really hard fastballs, and he leads with that heater to try and get outs, and does that there. Really great end to that at bat from Matt Beatty.
Sometimes when you've got stuff like that, it's best just to trust it.
He's really dotting the eye with those fastballs there. That right on the outside corner on the black of the plate to Trent D'Antonio.
Left-handed leadoff man for the Sox. Makes the first 2 pitches from Beatty. He's in the hole 0-2. Could be a nice quick 1-2-3 inning here for the Aces. Is he a guy that'll go multiple innings, you think, after his last appearance?
It's a possibility. There is a man warming up. Looks like Jack Fox is getting loose in the Aces pen.
1-2 here to D'Antonio. That might have, no. A lot of loose dirt in that batter's box. Thought D'Antonio may have copped that one in the back of the foot, but it's just the dirt flying with that ball down in the dirt. So ball and 2 strikes now to D'Antonio. Young bull against old bull. Just missing up and away. Opens the count at 2-2.
Looking for that fastball again. Might try and go back inside with a heater, but I wouldn't be shocked if he tried to fool him with a breaking ball on this 2-2 pitch.
He does go to the breaking pitch, freezes D'Antonio, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Sox. But through 6 innings, it is the Sydney Blue Sox leading the Melbourne Aces 2-0.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone Tools, made for Australians.
This is the Cyclone Tool Shed. There aren't any rakes here, but there's food, there's drink, and there's a great place to watch a game. You got picnic tables. You can see the visiting team and give them a bad time, keeping it clean, of course. But you got bean bags where you can chill out. In fact, those bean bags looking pretty good. I might head down there myself. I think this Cyclone Tool Shed is going to work out just fine. As you can see, many places to watch a ball game here at Melbourne Ballpark. melbourneaces.com.au. Check it out. See you at the ballpark.
Had the one appearance in the 7th inning. Nice clean one. Hands over to you, Josh. Take us through the 7th and the 8th.
We could see Ray just for the lefty. That's kind of my initial thought, but as we were talking about off the air, not a whole lot of action in the Blue Sox bullpen.
Yeah, Liam Doolan's been just up on his feet, stretching, getting himself ready to maybe come out. Thinking maybe for this inning, no one has been throwing up in that pen. So I think this inning is for Matt Ray.
Starts it off with a breaking ball to Jake Skoll. 3-4-5, heart of the aces order due up. A whole lot of power coming here. Skoll with a hit already today as he waits the 0-1. Another breaking ball, but this misses low. Count 1-1.
He's had a hit in this game, but it was his huge triple in the game earlier in the afternoon. Ended up coming around to score to tie up the game.
1-1. Inside, some chin music as Skoll turns his head out of the batter's box, and it's 2-1.
I would have taken that.
Off the face?
Helmet.
Braver than I am, I'll tell you that.
Duck my head in it.
No, I'm running towards the dugout. Or falling to the floor, whatever's more economical. Of course, I haven't played baseball in like 15 years. Here's the 2-1 from Ray. That's sliced foul, 2-2. I don't know, I played lacrosse a little bit. I got hit plenty. I used to collect bruises back in the day.
Yeah, I'll say some brutal hits in that one. That's just as tough as hockey.
Wouldn't want to take a fastball off the helmet, though, no matter what.
Yeah, it certainly can be scary.
Not for Skoll, though. Skoll, a guy who's no stranger to contact sports. Played a couple years of college football at the University of Georgia. And that one is a hard-hit baseball out to right field. So Skoll showing that his return to baseball is certainly a good thing. 2 for 3 in this game so far, and a leadoff single in the 7th.
Is that the same result as his last at-bat? Just ripped it into right field in front of David Candless on a hard-line drive. Now Liam Doolan starting to really get going up in that pen.
You got to think Ray was definitely out there to face the lefty. But now two hard-hitting right-handers coming up in Darryl George and Ryan Lavarnway on deck. George has already hit into one double play today, hoping not to replicate that feat as the breaking ball settles in for strike 1.
As we mentioned, the time was nicely turned by Jace Bowen at second, who had to deal with the hard sliding Skoll. They had Darryl George at first, who wasn't the quickest up that line.
Pickoff attempt at first base will keep Skoll there, but he'll not need to slide. George, the reigning Helms Award winner. It is 300th game in the last road series, middle of that GK set over in Geelong.
Matt Ray already with one pickoff tonight.
And the 0-1 bounced to second base. The man charging, trying to tag Skoll, who runs around it, and George is out at first.
Bowen just asking the question, do you run around too far around that tag? Tony Harris is going to come out and ask the question. Jerry Cobb's just going, Tom West will go out and confer with Trent Thomas in the middle of the infield. Jace Bowen gave up on the play really quickly because he was assuming that Skoll was going to run around him off that imaginary line. 3 feet, they say you have.
I don't think he went far enough out, but it's certainly a close call, and that's what Tony Harris is trying to discuss with Tom West over near second base.
It's Trent Thomas there. Tom West is chatting with Zach Shepard. Tony Harris isn't going to win that argument.
So it looks like the call will stand as a fielder's choice.
Jace Bowen probably gave up on that play a little bit easy.
Yeah.
You know, he could have very well have run Skoll off the line. He would have had plenty of time to throw George out at first base. So again, just lack of experience from a player who hasn't played a lot of that position this season.
Played mostly in the outfield for the Pirates system, primarily in High A Greensboro. And now still the tying run at the plate, but the potential first run of the game is in scoring position. Good speed at second for Skoll and great power at the plate for 10-year Major League vet Ryan Lavarnway.
And when you say first run, you mean the Aces' first run of the game. Sox striking for 2 in the 5th on a trio of doubles. But again, it's that Blue Sox issue where they only score in one inning of a game rather.
And Ray out to a good start in this at bat. 0-2 on the vet. Ryan Lavarnway, who's played for 13 different major league organizations, almost half, 8 of which he has made into the big leagues with. 4 years to start off his career, parts of his first 4 years, I should say, in and out of the majors with the Red Sox. As Lavarnway will spin, but I don't know if he got completely out of the way. It looks like he did.
Jumped out of the way of that one. I thought it was hit by pitch. Had hit by pitch written all over it, but did enough to stay out of the way. Maybe trying to stay out of the way without getting out of the way too much. He got out of the way. He'll stay in the box with a 1-2 count against Ray.
So runner on second. 1 out. The pitch. That is hit to short. Diving stop, and the play made by Castillo. He'll throw to first for out number 2, and another fantastic defensive play by the Blue Sox.
That's a run saved right there. If that gets past Castillo, I see Skoll scoring all the way from second. And that's the reason why Castillo is still in this lineup to this day. Spoke with manager Tony Harris back in the first home series. Castillo was down as the 5th or 6th infielder. He wasn't going to get playing every day, but the other options at shortstop haven't quite worked out for the Blue Sox, and this guy has been absolutely outstanding. And that is the reason why.
So great defense. Now lefty shift for Burke as he swings out of ahead of that slider. It's 0-1.
This is one guy who could really tie up this ball game in a hurry. He had a game-winning home run already today. Matt Ray will be looking to avoid that situation.
A chance to do damage with runners in scoring position. Well, runner, I should say, as that's fouled back by Burke, and it's 0-2.
Well, given the last time he batted in this situation, you could say there's 2 runners in scoring position. A 21-year-old local boy, stands at 5'11", 81 kilos. Matt Ray's got him in pole position right here, 0-2. You don't want to rest on your laurels there.
And the pitch. That is popped into left field. Coming on towards the foul line is McGuire. He's going to settle under it and make the grab for out number 3. So some damage done for the Aces, but they strand a runner on second. No runs scored on 1 hit. And let's stretch it out here at Blacktown International Sports Park. We'll be right back.
Just watching Matt Ray as he heads back in the dugout. He tried to avoid Tony Harris, but Tony Harris goes and seeks him out. Gives him the handshake. 7 shutout innings there by Matt Ray. Exceptional start. He continues to do what he's been doing all year. We're going to head to the bottom of the 7th. If the Blue Sox looking for more runs.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 1, 2, 3. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Plenty of seating options here at Melbourne Ballpark. I'm in the Grandstand Reserve. Great seat watching the Aces up to bat. If you want to kick it up a notch, over here are the premium outdoor boxes. You got 2 seats side by side. Food and drink delivered to your seat, powered by GetDuck.io. You just hit the QR code. Voila, food and drink delivered to you. Something for everyone. Let's go, Aces.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping.
Bottom of the 7th inning. We've got a new pitcher in for the Aces, really new in every sense of the word. Scott Harkin had to come on, as unfortunately Kevin Lennox had to go home due to family reasons, so he's back in the States, and Harkin is on the hill in a 2-0 ball game here in the 7th inning.
Hands game of that man Solomon Maguire, who's had a pretty quiet night out in left field tonight. And he's going to...
Not so quiet anymore. Laced into left field, and it's his second hit of the night. 2 for 3 on the day, and a leadoff base runner for the Blue Sox for the first time.
And when I said quiet night, I meant defensively. Normally he's out there running down balls in left field, but he took the cash to end the top of the 7th. I think that's only the first or second time he's been involved defensively. He's come up with 2 big base knocks here in this ball game. As I mentioned earlier, really impressing manager Tony Harris.
Is becoming a mainstay in that lineup with a team with very solid outfielders, as the pitch misses low to Castillo, who pulls back the bunt. First time the Aces have put a right-hander on the mound.
Second time?
Well, in this game, it's been all lefties, and then Matt Beattie.
He had Beattie in the previous inning, and now Harkin here. Harkin.
And this one bunted foul by Jesus Castillo. Hustled double in the 5th and scored the first run of the ball game.
So Jesus Castillo down in the 9-hole. He got the action started for the Sox back in the 5th. Doubled and then scored. And the first of the 3 doubles to give the Sox the first runs of the ball game. And give them their current 2-0 lead as we play here in the bottom of the 7th.
And it's a 1-2 count to Castillo. Goes back to swinging. And now Harkin kicks and deals. Off goes the runner. This one is popped into left field, drifting into foul territory. Robson won't get there in time. So back to first goes McGuire, and Castillo is back in a 1-2 count.
Well, for a moment that ball was going to drop, but as it does with the lefty, it just tails away and got out of play, much to the needing of the Aces. Didn't really want Solomon Maguire up on second base.
So now a 1-2 again to Castillo, as Harkin taking some time to get the signs from Matt O'Neill. He's set, and the pitch. Chop back to the mound, only play is at first, and Harkin will make it. 1 gone here in the 7th as Solomon Maguire moves up to second on the 1-3 putout.
And that's how you execute that little chopper / bunt play. Eluded the Aces back in the previous game. Took maybe a fraction too long to throw out the runner at first. It was Jesus Castillo. He later came around and scored. Dylan Shockley Sorry, no, that was Sammy Siani with the bunt.
So we'll see what the sign is for Siani here. It's taking himself time to get set in the box. Right on left matchup as the pitch, a breaking ball, misses outside for ball 1. Siani 1 for 3 in today's contest, but a big number 1. An RBI double to start the scoring here in the 5th. Now in the bottom of the 7th, it's a miss upstairs, 2-0.
Siani definitely looking for a repeat of his last at bat. Just went inside out, punched the ball into left field. There's a big gap in left center field. And Whitefield had a long run to track it down.
Had him on an 0-2 count in that at bat, and now it is 2-0. Siani will step out of the box. So Scott Harkin making his ABL debut. Guy who was most recently pitched in the Mexican Pacific Winter League. And this is his first appearance since 2020 that is not out of the starting rotation. Hanging curveball fouled away by Siani to make it 2-1. Originally signed by the Brewers back in 2013, Harkin played 1 series in the Milwaukee minor league system, allowing 2 runs in 16 2/3 innings. And that was really where his career as a reliever began. He finished more games and had 4 times as many saves than Devin Williams, who was on that team, now the Brewers closer, as Lavarnway takes it to the bag himself. Runner moves to third, though, but 2 away here in the 7th.
For half a second there, Lavarnway had ideas of throwing out Maguire over at third. Don't think it was ever going to do it, but the speed that ball got to him, just shadowed it for a moment. Make Maguire think twice. 2 out now for Zach Shepherd. Takes ball 1.
1-0 to Shepherd, who's had himself quite a nice game. Hits in each of his last 2 at-bats, including an RBI double in the 5th. That drove in run number 2 for the Blue Sox. A nice-looking looping curve from Harkin settles in on the inside part of the plate, and it's 1-1.
Shepherd just asking the question of the location of that pitch. Didn't quite think it was in the zone, but umpire Ben Nash is the only man that matters when it comes to that call.
1-1 misses upstairs, and it's 2-1. A lot of fastballs and curves thus far from Harkin. Guy who flew right to Sydney. Hasn't even touched down in Melbourne yet for the Aces' most recent signing, as this one's popped in the air out in right field. Lavarnway's giving chase. Dale's giving chase. He'll call off the first baseman to make the catch for the out. So a hitter gets a hit against Matt Harkin, but then he'll retire the next 3 in his ABL debut. Aces trail 2-0 as we head into the 8th here in Sydney.
All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Here we are down the first base line at Melbourne Ballpark. You can see lots of people around having a good time. There's all kinds of options. Look at this, people enjoying pizza, looking pretty good. Good pizza, look at that. She doesn't want to be in the shot, that's okay. She's having a great time with her pizza.
You can always watch the game from the All-Star Bar, which is down the first base line. Get a drink, get some food. So there you go, the All-Star Bar, just one of many places you can watch a game here at Melbourne Ballpark.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
New pitcher on the mound for the Blue Sox after a stellar start by Matt Ray. 2-0 the lead for Sydney. And we head into the 8th inning with a new man on the mound in Liam Doolin making his debut for the Sydney Blue Sox.
Doolin spent 2017 and 18 down with the Cavalry. Just the 2 appearances for 1 2/3 of an inning. Spent a year with the Tennessee Wesleyan College in the Appalachian Athletic Conference. And he's now a member of the LA Dodgers system.
He's got a tough man to lead it off with, but Doolin attacking his teammate with Team Australia, part of the Samurai Series in Japan back in November. 0-1 count now to Whitefield, who's 2 for 2 today. He goes around, no appeal to first base needed, as it's a quick 0-2 count on Whitefield. Very aggressive approach at the plate for Whitefield so far.
32 games for Tennessee Wesleyan for Doolin. He had a 2.15 ERA, 5-0 record, picking up 10 saves, 54 1/3 innings pitched.
The 0-2 bounces away from the catcher in Shockley, and it's 1-2.
Struck out 74 and walked 17. There's some pretty handy numbers.
Not a lot of guys that from NAIA schools get drafted that's outside of the main collegiate athletic body in the NCAA. But it's a really strong season at Tennessee Wesleyan for Doolin. Now the 1-2. Whitefield lets it go, smartly so, as it's 2-2 now.
Doolin just trying to work on the outside corner, just a little bit outside on that one. And the breaking pitch down in the dirt. Shockley went out and knocked down.
Whitefield, not a guy you want to miss inside on. 1-2, turned on the other way. I was wrong on the count, it's 2-2, and it'll stay that way after the foul ball.
Doolin making his Sydney Blue Sox debut after a short stint with the Cavalry a few years ago. As a young 18-year-old, would have been on their development roster back then.
Another local guy here is Whitefield, gets out on a called third strike. He didn't agree with the call, so he'll say something to Ben Nash, and now there's one out here in the 8th.
Just exchanged some words with Dylan Shockley and had a bit of a shoulder bump, and it looks like Shockley may have discreetly kicked some dirt on Whitefield as he started to walk away. Nice strikeout to start things for Liam Doolin.
Doolin will pitch to Jared Dale, who turns on the first pitch, sends it the other way into right field, but going towards it is Candelas for the catch, and out number 2. Really quick out and a nice route to the ball by Candelas.
2 outs on 2 pitches for Doolin. Kind of in the box seat for a nice quick finish here. Top of the 8th, Blue Sox hanging on to a 2-0 lead. It might be Doolin to get this inning and the next and save the bullpen for tomorrow's doubleheader.
Doolin, a Blacktown native, now going up against Matt O'Neill. First pitch misses outside, ball 1.
And if you heard Liam Doolin against Matt O'Neill, you thought you might have been in the local state league competition. Matt O'Neill bearing the same name as one of the local state league managers from the Riot Hawks club.
This Matt O'Neill, though, an accomplished catcher at the minor league level, now in his 4th year with the Mets organization. Got into the playoffs with Brooklyn in the South Atlantic League. They got bounced in 3 games against the Aberdeen Ironbirds. And now it's 3-0 on him, as out comes Shockley to almost hand the ball right back to his pitcher personally.
And Shockley just settling down the young Doolin on top of the mound. 2 outs here, just looking for out number 3. Doesn't need to overthrow the ball. He's got very powerful stuff. Big, tall right-hander.
The 3-0 is a hard fastball catching the inside corner to get the first strike of the at-bat.
And the other Matt O'Neill we talk about is the current coach of the New South Wales under-16s team, who will be in action here at Blue Sox Stadium over the course of the next 8 days in the Australian Youth Championships. The best talent from around the country, under-16 and under-18, in battle for national champion honours. 2-out walk for Matt O'Neill. Never good walk in the 9-hole hitter, especially with 2 out.
That'll prompt a meeting on the mound. Ray Ordonez and Dylan Shockley coming to the pitcher's mound to have a chat with Doolin before Robson comes to the plate. Almost beat out an infield grounder for a single his last time up, but he's 1 for 3 with a triple on the day. The Aces had not hit a triple before Jake Scholes off the wall this season.
First triple of the year.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge spot to do it too.
Certainly paid off. Robson, though, did not. He was thrown out at home after a squeeze bunt. Did not go his way. Another example of the stellar defense from Sydney here in this contest that has kept this a 2-0 ball game. Couple of double plays, a big play at the plate as Robson takes a called strike.
Liam Doolin just taking a moment to compose himself with the very youthful experience of Dylan Shockley, who has got nothing but praise out of this coaching staff of how he commands and looks after his pitchers on the mound. Great game call-up, but also a great composure man.
0-2 misses upstairs, 1-2, and that's really, especially in a game like today where a lot of guys are looking for those big hits and getting them. You need a guy to settle down the pitcher, and that's certainly something the Blue Sox have found in Shockley, and that the Aces have found in the man on first in Matt O'Neill. Doolin, the 1-2. Robson takes it the other way, but foul. That'll stay 1-2.
Doolin looking to finish this inning. Still no one throwing to Sydney. It looks like same for Melbourne. We'll see Harkin again potentially in the top of on the bottom of the 8th.
Might see Harkin eventually transition into the starting rotation. He's a guy I kind of expected to see in a starting role tomorrow night, but the Aces using him out of the bullpen. Same with Dan McGraw in that first game. Now Doolin deals. Robson holds up the swing. Appeal over to the bases umpire, denied, and it's 2-2. I was looking at third, but Trent Thomas is right near second base. That was my position in Little League, the pitcher's helper. But that's why I'm in the broadcast booth and not on the field somewhere. Doolin, the 2-2. Upstairs fastball, and it works the count full. And a slower throw back to the mound. Taking some time to give out the signs is Shockley. Glendening on deck.
Just slowing things down as well by going out and making that shorter throw. Encouragement.
Here's the payoff. Neil will go to first base. The go-ahead run in the form of Robbie Glendening, and he's already shown he can change the outcome of the game with one swing.
So had the first run of the ball game, the earlier game today. Ball that was up in the air for a very long time. Solomon Maguire, who had just come into the game as a pinch runner, thought he may have had a chance, but for some strange reason, the ball decided to travel 325 feet and just sneak over the wall in left field. Said so often, balls come to die when they They're elevated too high, but Glenn Dennings just had enough on it, despite the effort of Solomon Maguire to climb the wall. And a similar situation against Perth. There was a fly ball off the bat of Junior Cabanero. Everyone thought it was foul, but it ended up driving in the winning run in the 11th inning.
And that Chris Burke home run, I know I was one of the people that thought it went foul, but it stayed fair, and that was the one that was the difference.
I knew it was out the time it hit the bat. It was just a matter of fair or foul.
We'll see if Glendenning can replicate some of that earlier game success, as it is a dark night sky here at Blacktown International Sports Park. 2-0 the score, Sydney in the lead, but we've seen this movie before. First pitch is in there for a strike to Glendenning, and exactly the way Doolin wanted to start that at bat.
I don't usually watch the same movie twice. Once is enough generally.
I can't say the same. I've seen Star Wars and Marvel movies like a million times.
I mean, I probably watched The Sandlot and those kind of movies when I was younger 100 times, but these days, once I watch a movie, I've watched it. And unless it's on TV again, and I've got nothing else to do, then I might watch it, but Doolin now with the 0-2 count against Glendenning.
2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs. 0-2 to Glendenning as Doolin quickly readies the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
What a way to work around a bit of trouble. Sorry there, Josh.
Yeah, big strikeout. I was going to say pretty much what you were saying there. James Doolin goes 1, 2, and 3 after 2 2-out walks to finish off the inning. So the Aces strand 2, and a big outing for James Doolin. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-0 the score, Sydney in the lead.
Save that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Dan Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
After a really solid ABL debut, retired the final 3 batters after letting up a leadoff hit, but you gotta like what you see in his first relief appearance.
Definitely came out, controlled that zone after a little shaky first at bat, but got the 1-2-3 after that and got out of the 7th.
Kind of an ephus-looking pitch, a curveball there to Bowen, who swings over the top of the curveball to make it 0-1.
Yeah, a bit of a strange-looking action. He kind of has that quick flick at the end of it. Saw a couple of pitches in his warm-up which looked like poorly executed curveballs that kind of looped around a little bit. But
curveballs look good for him. There's a breaking ball on the outside corner of the plate that's sent to short for out number 1.
Nice start there by Harkin to get the leadoff man out. There's Bowen grounding out.
4 straight retired for Harkin to bring up the middle of the Blue Sox order. It's 3, 4, and 5 with Bowen grounding out. Candless stepping up to the plate, and Ernie Ordonez on deck.
Candyman back in Sydney Collins this year after a stint down in the nation's capital. A big weekend in Geelong last week. Finished the Run Fest with 5 RBIs. 3 for 5 he was that day. Looking to maybe tack on an extra run or two here in the bottom of the 8th.
0-1. It's a fastball darting to the outside corner. Harkin quickly out in front. He's retired 4 straight, but he's still looking for his first strikeout. 3 in the game from Kent, 2 from Beattie, and now the 0-2 bounces on the plate to make it 1-2.
And then on the Sydney side, we've had 6 from Ray, 2 from Dolan. We had 9.
That is hit into center field. On the run and unable to get there is Glenn Dinning. So it's a bloop single for David Candelas. He is on base for the first time in game number 2.
9 from Flynn and 6 from Wynn. So 15 and then...
So 20 strikeouts total for the Aces. And that'll bring up Ernie Ordonez, who's grounded out 3 times.
Steve Ordonez jumps after the first pitch, which has been customary for him. Seems to have had that license back. This occasion he takes strike 1 on the outside corner.
Might have wanted to swing at that pitch. Harkin challenged him with a fastball down the pipe. But unable, or unwilling, I guess, to swing was Ordonez. 1 on, 1 out, the 0-1. Curveball hammered into deep left field, but that is foul. He saw his pitch and got a little too excited for it.
It's amazing how balls that are hit straight back up the middle or within the lines seem to die in the air, but balls that are hit foul just go 500 feet past the fence.
That ball might still be going. 0-2. Fastball just got a piece of it, did Ordonez, and it's 0-2.
I think it's either in someone's windscreen out there in the car park, it's or in the pond, or it's on the adjoining cricket pitch out behind us.
Let's hope it didn't break someone's windscreen. A lot of cars parked in the car park next door here. 0-2. Fastball missing outside, and it's 1-2. Not much of a stealing threat is Candelas, who's over on first base.
Ordonez looking for his first hit of the night. He's played some absolutely outstanding defense. Ooh, that one just bouncing off the second part of the protective netting back into the dugout boxes on the lower ground level. Just missing a couple of unaware spectators.
That is always the danger of being a baseball fan, but I'd say it's worth it. 1-2, hit high in the air into right field. Skull drifting towards the foul line and makes the catch just in fair territory. 2 gone in the 8th to bring up Dylan Shockley.
Doesn't seem to have much overpowering stuff, Harkin, but certainly got some good secondary pitches that got these Blue Sox swinging, getting themselves out.
Curveball seems to be his go-to pitch, and you look at guys who rely on kind of a looping curve. The big guy that comes to mind is Adam Wainwright, and in the same kind of way Harkin's pitching, he's not going to have a blow-you-away fastball. It's just going to look harder to hit after you see a curve where you don't know it's going to land.
So Dylan Shockley 0 for 3 with the strikeout.
2 ground outs and a strikeout swinging. That one came on a full count back in the 6th inning. One of Matt Beattie's 2 punch outs. Off goes the runner. The curve on the outside corner on the money from Matt O'Neill. What a way to end the inning. 2-4 go the Aces. And the first stealing attempt of the season for David Candelas is foiled.
Well, you did say there wasn't much of a base stealing opportunities, and Candelas tried to show you up there, my friend, but Matt O'Neill got the job done, throwing Candelas out at second. We finished the 8th, we head to the 9th. And it'll be the Blue Sox closer, Kyle Cross, to come out and finish off this ball game. So hope to the Blue Sox.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Plenty of seating options here in Melbourne Ballpark. I'm in the Grandstand Reserve. Great seat watching the Aces up to bat. If you want to kick it up a notch, over here are the premium outdoor boxes. You got 2 seats side by side. Food and drink delivered to your seat, powered by GetDuck.io. You just hit the QR code. Voila, food and drink delivered to you. Something for everyone. Let's go, Aces.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping.
Being the man that Tony Harris calls upon in these close encounters, he has a 3.38 ERA through his 9 appearances, 13 and 1/3 innings of work, struck out 10, walked 5. He's looking for save number 3 here tonight. Blue Sox hoping to split this doubleheader and then come back tomorrow and take both games. 10:30 start out of Blue Sox Stadium here tomorrow, nice and early. You know, party tonight, straight home to bed. Back out here Brian tomorrow for the 10:30 morning game, the 2 o'clock afternoon game. The Aces head back to Melbourne.
Difficult part of the order. Probably the 3 guys you'd want up if you're the Aces: Skoll, George, and Lavarnway. George still looking to get his bat back in a tiny bit of a slump, but overall just a dangerous hitter at the plate, and Lavarnway has shown a ton of pop since joining the Aces last week.
Perth Heat 9-2 over Geelong Korea in the first of their 2 games over in the West. And Brisbane leading Adelaide 6-0 in the 3rd game of their series. Down in West Beach. And of course Canberra and Auckland, looks like they won't see any baseball this weekend with plenty of rain on the radar. Kyle Cross starts Jacob Skoll with a called strike 1. Skoll has a pair of line drives into right field to go with his triple. The first triple of the Aces season. Obviously didn't have a player like Skoll bouncing it off the wall through the first 7 series.
Or you're more used to him hitting it over the wall.
Yeah, I definitely thought that one was out that he hit back in the first game.
Or could have gone all Gabriel Moreno and hit it through the wall.
0-2 here for Kyle Cross. This is inside to the lefty Skoll. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sox hoping to finish this series with double digits in the win column. If they do that, it's important they close out this one. Outside corner, just missing. 2-2 now the count. Ross just working cautiously around Skoll, doesn't want to make the error. Deathly quiet around Blue Sox Stadium as they hold their breath, knowing full well they've already seen a final inning outburst from the Aces today.
Going to bat by Skoll here. It was 0-2. Now he's worked it to a full count. And a leadoff walk tends to prove deadly.
And what you want to do with just a 2-0 lead is to bring the tying run up 3 times. It's a 2-pitch pitcher. Split up, sinker. And he gets Skoll on that one, up and away. And some words for Ben Nash. It'd be great if we had our umpires mic'd up.
That could get dangerous. All that stuff can't really be said on the stream here.
Just for us to listen to.
Oh, that'd be great.
Just for us to listen to, and then we can what's the word?
Out, yeah.
No, not bleep it out, but we can
paraphrase.
That's the one. We can translate what's said. I've often thought about it. So huge first out for Kyle Cross. Now he's going to face the veteran Darryl George, just still only 29 years of age, and he's in game 307 of his career.
Guy who has meant so much to this Aces franchise. All 10 years with Melbourne, Helms Award winner last year, and a huge part of the Aces back-to-back championships.
He's ahead here, 2 balls and no strikes. Shockley will just go out and just check in with a 4th visit to the mound for the Blue Sox tonight. Seeing umpire Ben Nash signal. 4 fingers to the bench, of course only 5 allowed in any one game.
Relatively new rule in baseball as well. And I like it. I mean, you don't want to have guys the game having a chat, and it also adds more strategy to the meeting on the mound, which is honestly one of the main reasons for it.
Just means you have to be better prepared in every outing. Down and away. 3 straight balls now to Darryl George. Cross once again working cautiously. See that split finger grip. It's kind of easy to sit on a pitch. Every pitch is same or similar. It's going to be a 4-pitch walk, so another tying run will come up to the plate in the form of Ryan Lavarnway.
A couple of home runs already for the Aces, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a pinch runner for Darryl George. Obviously, he's a bat you want to keep in the lineup, but you might want to put a guy on base with a bit more speed. But Moylan does not seem to be looking for a pinch runner on his bench.
I think maybe if Lavarnway moves him up to second base, you might see a pinch runner come out. You don't really want to weaken your defense if you don't have to. Should the Aces tie this game, it's 10 to the 9th. Kyle Cross, after walking George on 4 straight pitches, finds the outside corner. On Lavarnway, just a bit of a conversation with Ben Nash. George with the standard lead over at first, doesn't want to be too far off the base. Given the propensity of Dylan Shockley to backpick runners, and Ryan Lavarnway ties up this ball game. So back-to-back games. The Blue Sox haven't been able to close out in the last inning. Now is the test for the Blue Sox. Have 1 out here in the 9th. Can Kyle Cross on the next 2 out. That was a no-doubter from Ryan Lavanway. His second home run in as many weeks since arriving in Australia.
What a shot that was. Crushed off the bat. Another no-doubt home run for the Aces in the final inning of play.
I told you, I don't like watching the same movie over. And it's that man again, Chris Burke.
Yeah, the go-ahead homer last night, nobody on base, 1 out.
It wasn't last night, it was 3 hours ago.
Feels like last night.
Check swing up first, but
last game, you know what I meant.
Not given. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Chris Burke.
It's the first doubleheader the Aces have played in a couple of weeks. A month even.
It's Burke swinging, missing for strike 2. Still another pitch for Kyle Cross to get out of this at bat against a man who's already won Melbourne a ball game today. So the Sox will have some work to do in the bottom of the 8th, in the bottom of the 9th rather. And there you go, that's why Peter Moreland didn't go to his bullpen. He had full faith in Ryan Lavanway to tie the ball game up without having to change his defense. So 1 and 2 now to Chris Burke. Can he finish off this at bat? He does. Great location by Ryan Cross. He gets Chris Burke looking. Burke may be a little bit disappointed in himself that he let that pitch get away. But that's a huge second out here in a tie ball game. Matt Ray unfortunately won't pick up his 5th win of the year. He'll leave, or he'll have to take, he will take rather the no decision. Kyle Cross will take a blown save. Bring up Aaron Whitefield. Outside corner misses for ball 1.
Whitefield's had a good game today. 2 hits, both singles, but both pretty hard hit off the bat. He's a guy who's had the propensity to just hit balls right to defenders this season. Someone you're used to seeing a lot more power from.
Outside corner maybe missing a little bit low. 2 balls and no strikes. So Kyle Cross just struggling to find the zone early in counts, maybe being a little bit too cautious. Sometimes when you can be too cautious, you run into a Ryan Lavanway. Outfield missed that one, but that's going to get fouled out of play. It looks like Kai Wang up in the pen for the Blue Sox. So he might be getting the 10th. Of course, if we do go to extras, we start with runners on first and second. International tiebreaker rule. Right field, this that one. Right field underneath it. David Candless makes the catch. But for the second game in a row, the Aces find a way to tie it. Last time they got the go-ahead run. This time they've tied it up. So the Sox will have a chance to walk things off in the bottom of the 9th when we return.
sky. When Ben Simmons makes a three, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates, a 4 and 20 pie. Oi!
So it'll be 6, 7, 8 for the Sox in Shockley, D'Antonio, and Solomon Maguire, a right in, then a pair of lefties. Jesus Castillo down in the 9-hole, and out on the mound for the Aces is the big lefty, John Kennedy. 11 years in the ABL is a 10 and 15 win-loss record. Just 11 innings so far in his 7 appearances. Given up 4 earned runs on 10 hits, a home run, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. I'll see what Dylan Shockley can do as the leadoff man here in the bottom of the 9th. Again, the undoing of the Sox, only able to score in 1 inning. And their good record of leading late in games has taken a hit twice today. On ball and 1 strike here to the Blue Sox catcher, the Pittsburgh Pirates farmhand. A big tall lefty, kind of a side winding action.
Kennedy, a guy who can go for multiple innings as well. I thought Harkin might have gone for more than 2, but a solid 2 strong from him. And they're bringing in Kennedy just for a fresh arm here in a crucial point of the game.
Fresh arm, you could see him in this inning and then the next inning again. Mentioning he multiple inning, he's got 11 innings on 7 appearances. Down and in for ball 3. Full count here to Shockley. Kyle McIntosh Walsh on the bench. Pinch ran in the last game and scored the first run of the game. And Shockley drives the 3-2 into the gap in right centre field. Nicely cleaned up by Skull. It's going to be a hustle double there by Dylan Shockley. Skull got to that ball quickly, but he hit the cutoff man. And Jared Dale probably got in the way of throwing out Dylan Shockley at second. I thought Shockley was dead to rights. Maybe not the strongest of throws from Skull in right field. And Dylan Shockley, he had the go-ahead base hit in the first game. He has a lead-off double here in the 9th. And it'll be the 367 gamer in Trent D'Antonio. Expecting a bunt here. We'll see how the Aces play it out. They went to baseball 101 earlier this afternoon. Antonio shows bunt, pulls it away with that ball missing outside. Came 386 for Trent D'Antonio. Dylan Shockley needs to make sure that the ball finds the ground. Nothing worse than popping up into a double play. The game on the line in the bottom of the 9th. Squares for bunt again. Offers at it and misses it. Shockley has to go back to second. Lavarnway crashing hard. George going back to his base.
I think it's the fastest I've ever seen Lavarnway run.
He ran around those bases pretty quick on the home run trot.
It's a different kind of run, though.
He's only been here 2 weeks, mate. Give him a break. Pulls it away. 2 balls and 1 strike. So Antonio bunting all the way at this stage. Solomon Maguire's on deck. He's got a pair of hits today. Wouldn't he love to drive in the winning run? Antonio is in the box when Dylan Shockley was picked off to win the first end the first game of the doubleheader. Offers at it again. He can't get it down. He's filthy with himself. O'Neill with the check on Shockley. He's taking a bit of a beating out there. It was an awkward slide when he slid into the base on the double and then had to slide back into the base on the back pick. So we'll see if D'Antonio is going to be bunting all the way here. Or is he now going to try and punch something through the left side? Now that he's opened up that hole on the left-hand side of the infield. Fouls it off. Not caught by O'Neill. He stays alive.
I'd be surprised to see him go back to the bunt here. Certainly a guy who can get those big hits, but
Yeah.
2 strikes and a bunt is not a good combination.
And I think with the lefty side armour, it's going away from D'Antonio. Maybe if it was a righty, he might go again, but I think the way that he offered at the first 2 pitches, you can tell he definitely wasn't comfortable up there bunting against Kennedy. He's fouled off the last couple. And then he has left that big hole on the left side of the infield. Robson playing closer to the line than he is the middle of the outfield. D'Antonio with another foul ball up the first base line this time. Through the hands of Mark Shipley, first base coach, who tosses it up to a young fan in foul territory. Ben Nash will go back and collect a few more baseballs.
3 pitches fouled off with 2 strikes by D'Antonio. Exactly the kind of at bat you want to see, making the pitcher work. This is a guy who just got into the game, and the Blue Sox trying to tire him out and wear him down enough where he's forced to throw a strike.
Get the pitcher to make the mistake.
Up there.
Antonio breaks his bat, slamming into the ground in frustration. That's a very big out number 1.
And that's been the bread and butter of really all Aces pitchers, particularly the left-handers. That inside-out slider going something that looks like it's going to be in on the hands and then just rapidly finding the outside part of the strike zone. And Kennedy does that masterfully. Really nice K-pitch for him.
Fouled off there by Solo Maguire. Not a lot of options on the bench.
Aces have struggled with injuries this year. They really have not carried too many players. J.D. Osborne, a guy on the bench for them. The Blue Sox as well. Just a couple options.
I've only got Jake Burns, who's also a lefty. Kai McIntosh Walsh, who's a development player. No Jacob Eunice. He's at a wedding tonight. Fouls that one off, out of play. And they want to keep McIntosh Walsh, for a potential pinch running situation if or when this game goes to, or once they win. I'm hoping we can win it here, but should this game go to extras, looks like it's going to be Kai Wang. He's warming up in the Blue Sox bullpen. Solomon Maguire, 1 ball and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, does have 2 hits already. One of them coming off the lefty in Steve Kent. And he finds something here, the youngster. Outside corner. Nicely taken to get the count to 2-2.
Really close pitch, but again, Kennedy looking to that slider against the lefty to try and get the swinging strike.
Shockley at second. Maguire pops it up, back for his Whitefield. It's a big out for the Aces. Crowd thought that might have been down for a base hit, but it just went up and then down. Thought Whitefield maybe in a little bit too quickly on that one, but Ball just hit that air. Died. Easy catch for Whitefield.
It did look like one of those kind of hits, though, that just kind of hit no man's land in the outfield, a little kind of bloop, but it just hung up there for Whitefield. The wind in this ballpark striking again, it seems.
Well, there's no wind out there at the moment. Look at those flags. They're dead. They're asleep.
Or just the outfield magic. I don't know. It's got to be something.
Just the air out there.
Yeah.
The dead air out here at Blacktown. So here's Castillo. Starts with strike one. And Denning now no longer holding Shockley at second base. Castillo punches it right side, but Scholes over there makes the chest high catch. Thought he might have found it, but he didn't, so we are headed to extras. We're headed to the 10th, all tied up, 2 runs all. And baseball just got free here at Blue Sox Stadium.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
We are here in the 10th. It's Kyle Cross back out to the mound. And now it's a bit of a game of cat and mouse, Josh. Runners on first and second. Do you trust your go with the bat to drive it in, or do you play the baseball 101, drop down the bunt, move the runners in the scoring position, and then hope with one of the last 2 outs you can drive in at least 1 or 2 runs?
I mean, in this case with the Aces, you really could go either way. Dale's got a good bat, but good speed as well. So a little squeeze bunt might be a good thing, and it looks like that's where they're going to go.
Check on, I believe it's Chris Burke over there at second, Aaron Whitefield at first. And the runners for the Aces, it'll be Maguire and Castillo for the Sox. A 9-hole hitter, or 8-hole hitter rather, in Dale, followed by Matt O'Neill for Melbourne. Tries to drop it down, but he can't. They're just going to ask if he went. They haven't got the call. There was definitely an offering at that.
I think they initially called it a ball.
They're asking, well, all they've got to do is ask the question.
I see a ball up on the scoreboard, which is why I'm confused.
Well, the umpires called it a ball, but there's definitely an offering. Shockley believes, all the Blue Sox believe it's an offering. Ben Nash is just going to check.
It looked like he offered, but I think the umpires may have seen him kind of pull it towards himself, but if he did that. It was an ugly offering.
Yeah. Cross went inside with the pitch, which made it tough for Dale to offer at the ball. Now there's going to be a conversation, so it looks like the call will be overturned. So it's called a foul.
I think
they called a foul tip.
Yeah.
All right, so the Blue Sox get the call going in their favour. Although Ben Nash has just signalled ball one again. They just went over and said it was a foul tip. So we're all confused. On the way, Joe Dowell squares bunt, drops down, maybe a play at third if they're quick enough. Oh, Kyle Cross just couldn't get out of his glove. Yeah, Chris Berg dead for rights at third, just had the bobble in his glove. He's filthy with himself. And the Sox maybe missed an opportunity there. Oh, Josh, how the baseball gods play this game sometimes.
You saw the same thing happen. This one went in the Aces' favor. In the last extra innings game they played in Canberra, Kevin Lennox started off the inning. A similar bunt to that, grounded right to him. He was able to wheel around, throw it to third. Cross appeared to had it stuck coming out of his glove. And that is a big problem for the Blue Sox, as now the Aces have two really good runners in scoring position.
Cross starts Matt O'Neill. They call it strike one. Not the best bunt by Jared Dale, but proved to be effective. Straight back to the pitcher. Hard in your mouth stuff here in the 10th. The Sox lost dramatic fashion against the Heat and then walked it off on an error against the Tuatara. And that one's off the hands into left field. Solomon Maguire in for it. The throw's going to come home, but it won't. Yes, no, it won't. It'll get away. And Matt O'Neill will head up to second. And it's 2 runs on the board for the Aces. On the base hit by Matt O'Neill, off the hands into left field. Maguire comes up throwing. And Shockley just can't handle the ball. To maybe had a chance at Whitefield at the plate to reduce the runs to 1, but the Aces scored 2. And they take the lead 4-2 here in the top of the 4th, and still just 1 out, and we go back to the top of the lineup for Jacob Robson.
And with as fast as Whitefield was, he was thinking home all the way. I think a better throw might have had him. That was a really close play at the plate, but as you said, a bobble by Shockley. It cost a saved run.
Well, it just took that bounce on the dirt, which meant the ball just died as it got to Shockley, and you know, Shockley had a few things to contend with. He had to make sure that he got the ball on the glove, had to make sure that Whitefield didn't get in the way, and then had to try and apply the tag. Just couldn't get all 3 to align at once. And the Aces score 2. But the Sox will get their shot in the bottom of the 10th. And they're the top of the lineup. Siani, Shepherd and Bowen. And more likely be Zach Shepherd with the job to do. But they have to find 3 out, the other 2 outs here in the top of the 10th. Jacob Robson. 2 balls and no strikes. Cross struggling a little bit now to find the zone. 3-0 in the inside corner. Blue Sox fans not happy with that call by Ben Nash.
After allowing the homer, I'm still surprised they brought Cross out for this 9th inning.
Yeah, it's the faith that Tony Harris has. He allows the pitchers to go back out and pick themselves up, right their wrongs. But it also shows you maybe the faith he has in the rest of the arms in that bullpen, especially with no Chris Oxspring available today, who's been that stop guy for the Sox. Robson tried to make it a 4-run lead with that swing on the 3-0 pitch. He swung right over the top of it. Cross has the count at 3-1 right now. Kicks and deals with the 3-1 pitch. And And he gets the call at the bottom of the strike zone. Robson tosses the bat away, but he's going to have to come back and face another pitch. Might see the zone expand a little bit now from Ben Nash after Robson showed him up on that 3-1 call. Shockley just calling for maybe a pitch inside corner. Robson just asks for time. Readjusts his batting gloves one more time. Steps back into the box. Cross is set on the mound, ready to go. O'Neill with his lead at second. Swings and misses over the top of that one. Nice fight back from Cross, down 3-0. He strikes Robson out. A huge out number 2. But a dangerous Robbie Glendenning up to bat.
Yeah, really good pitch there from Cross. Anytime you can get out of a 3-0 count and end up with a strikeout, that is just darn good pitching, and Cross with a big out number 2.
Hi, Glennie.
It's going to be a huge out number 3 if he can get Robbie Glendenning here. Strand that runner in O'Neill at second. Outside corner. Strike number 1. Kai Wang up in the pen still. Getting ready to come in. Cross can't finish things off here. Aces have scored 2 in the 9th to tie it up, and then 2 in the 10th to take the lead. Castillo with the strike to Shepherd, and they do get the 3rd out. But the Aces get the 2 free runners in to score, and they take the lead late in the game for the 2nd time today. But the Blue Sox will have runners on first and second and nobody out when we come back with the bottom of the 10th inning.
Oh, we've been there for every game of 4 and 25. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kick the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Jesus Castillo at first. It's going to be Sammy Siani, Zach Shepherd and Jace Bowen. What drama are we in here? For here in the 10th. Bottom of the 10th inning. The Sox with 1 win and 1 loss in extras. The Aces with 1 win and 2 losses in extras. And we'll see Siani trying to drop down a bunt against John Kennedy. Saw how tough it was for Trent D'Antonio to try and get one down. He's played 386 games of ABL. See if Sammy Siani can get it down. Maybe he even beats it out and loads the bases.
Certainly has the speed for it.
Up the line, Levan Wade to it, picks it up. Does he make the... No! Safe for first! Siani does beat it out at first base. Levan Wade maybe a little bit too casual, maybe thought about it for a minute. Maybe he should let it go foul. And Sammy Siani loads the bases with the sacrifice bunt. And it brings up Zach Shepherd. The Sox now with an extra chance to at least tie this ball game up. And they've got the speed on the base paths to do it if someone can put the ball into the gap. As the Who Rocks Blue Sox chant rings out here at Blue Sox Stadium. Zach Shepherd takes the first pitch. And finally we've got a righty facing the lefty. And a couple of lefties in D'Antonio and Maguire. So Castillo switched around and batted right-handed. Into the gap, it's going to get down. Siani's going to get on his bike. He turns around second. He heads to third. Stop signs up at third base. This game is tied. Zach Shepherd. He's tied this ball game. Has the Zach attack. The perfect bunt again from Sammy Siani and the speed to beat it out. Caught Ryan Levan Wade guessing. Maybe a little bit too much time taken by him. And then Zach Shepherd comes up to tie up this ball game. And the Sox now still with 3 chances to win this game. The winning run is Sammy Siani. He stands 90 feet away. And the Aces are going to have to draw the infield in. Zach Shepherd essentially irrelevant at third. It's going to be an intentional walk for Jace Bowen. And it's going to bring up one of the Sox best hitters in David Candelas. So we now have bases loaded again. Josh, you've got to love the excitement in baseball.
Yeah, my own team on the potential, on the rough end of it right now, but I mean, it's just the intensity of an extra inning game, I think, is added to with the extra runner. In the minor leagues, they had just the ghost runner on second base rather than the extra 2, and it just adds so much more tension with the extra runner.
You know you can fall behind by 2 on anything soft hit to the outfield, just like the Aces found. And the Sox have done it here. David Candelas just needs a bleeder or a sac fly to win this game for the Sox and split the Saturday doubleheader. First pitch misses for ball 1 from John Kennedy. This time he finds the outside corner. Matt Ray was amazing through 7 innings. Stephen Kent was also strong through his appearance. It's been the game of the bullpens. Kyle Cross couldn't quite shut it down. That one's fouled off. A ball and 2 strikes now for Candelas.
And you know that anything up in the air is going to get these fans going.
I think anything hard off the bat is going to get these fans going. Can David Candelas win the game for the Sox, or has John Kennedy and the Aces, or has John Kennedy and Melbourne got an ace up their sleeve? And that's maybe got Matt O'Neill somewhere where you don't want a 90-odd mile-an-hour pitch. And Nash just goes out and gives Matt O'Neill a chance to compose himself, catch his breath. And the Blue Sox chant rings out again. And Nash is giving Matt O'Neill every second. It's also giving David Candelas extra time just to compose himself. This place will erupt if David Candelas can drive in his winning run. Sammy Siani. Upstairs for strike 3. Flattens the Blue Sox crowd. It's like popping the balloon. Took all the air out of it.
Nasty pitch.
Yeah, deceptive sometimes at the top of the zone. It looks Looks like we're going to have a pitching change with Peter Moreland coming out. Don't really recognise anyone up in the pen warming up. Maybe it's just a...
I think it is just a meeting because there is no one in the pen warming up.
No one in the pen, so...
This is Kennedy's inning.
Just a composure meeting here for Peter Moreland, just breaking up a bit of the Blue Sox momentum. Sammy Siani and Zach Shepherd just having a bit of a conversation. Zach Shepherd needs... his job's not done. He needs to make sure he reaches third on anything hit, even if it is a sac fly. I mean, a sac fly doesn't have to go anywhere. He can stay right there. But any base hit, he has to make sure he reaches third base.
And the Aces just going to try and keep this in the infield. Surprising to see the inward shift, but
not sitting back for the double play.
Yeah.
Ordonez lifts it right side. Skull over for it, but he's going to smartly let it drop. Oh! Just lets it drop. I'll tell you what, Josh, I've seen a under-18 championship decided on a play like that. Right fielder barrels into the wall to take the catch with nobody out. All the runners advance one base. The throw comes back in, gets loose. The winning run comes in. The ball's still loose, and the insurance run comes back in. A 1-0 ball game in the 9th inning turned into a 3-run victory. So Skull showing plenty of experience there not to catch that ball. Ordonez under the glove of Darryl George, and the Blue Sox walk it off. Zach Shepherd touches third. He high-fives. The Blue Sox all run out, left, right, and centre. They get around Ernie Ordonez. He was 0 for 3 before that, and he gets that ball to find the outfield grass under the glove of Darryl George. Josh, what a game, and what's that, 17 innings now of baseball. Incredible stuff.
The more baseball, the merrier, but the Aces would have liked that to end a different way. Just a really hard hit ball. Got to give Ordonez a lot of credit. He smoked that off the bat, and it would have been an incredible play for George to try and turn that into a game-saving out.
And he's been a hitter that can hit the ball hard, just hasn't been able to find the gap on regular occasion. Sammy Siani got the job done with the bunt, legged it out, got himself into first. Zach Shepherd with the double in the gap to drive in the tying runs. And then Sammy Siani comes in to score on the hard ground ball off the bat. But what can we say? Matt Ray, absolutely splendid. 7 shutout innings. It was great for the Sox. Steve Kent did his best. Sorry, my system's just crashed. I'm trying to go through the recap. Steve Kent, 5 innings, 2 earned run. Matt Beattie, Scott Harkin shut down the Sox. John Kennedy just couldn't close it out for the Aces. Liam Doolan had the 1 inning in relief of Matt Ray, who gave up 7 hits, 6 strikeouts. Kyle Cross fell a little bit short, and after all that, Kyle Cross picks up the win on his 2 innings in relief. Gave up the game-tying home run to Ryan Lavarnway, but he gets credited with the win in that game. And no decision for Matt Ray. He drops his ERA down to 4.47. Kyle Cross takes a little bit of a battering. The Blue Sox split the Saturday series. We'll be back on air at 10:30 tomorrow. Josh, it's been a pleasure having you by my side. We'll do all it again tomorrow in one of the 2 games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we got some more exciting baseball coming up.
17 innings of, even the first 5 innings earlier, and then the first few innings where there's just zeros on the board, it's still entertaining baseball.
I like a good pitcher's duel.
Love a pitcher's duel as much as a slugfest, as much of as a walk-off. We've had it all today, and we hope that it continues tomorrow. Big thanks to the crew at Thought Fox Media. And we will see you back here at Blue Sox Stadium, 10:30 tomorrow. I'm Luke Eisenhower. Big thank you to Josh Sherber and Michael Martin. Marlon Tanini, I'll get it right tomorrow. And it's a very good bye. Blue Sox taking the nightcap 5-4.